Welcome back to Halls High School, everybody. Halls, the Red Devils, set to play Clinton tonight in a game that we figure should be a high-scoring affair. This one should be fun. Tonight's game is being brought to you by McDonald's. We love to see you smile. McDonald's making one a Big Mac right now. By Tennessee Sporting Goods, serving Knoxville for over 50 years. By Player Sportswear, redefining hip-hop clothing. Tennessee Institute of Electronics, technology is the future. Get in it. And by the Volunteer Toyota dealers. Get the feeling, Toyota. Well, Tony, we expect this one to be a pretty good game tonight. Gary Shepard's been here for 10 years. He runs an interesting offense, and boy, you got to be on your toes when you're playing defense against a Gary Shepard offense.
Well, you do, but this year they've had a lot of trouble getting the ball into the end zone, and you look at Gary Shepard there, a guy in his 10th season, and his record speaks for itself. The thing that really stands out to me is the Gary Shepard football team does not commit penalties. They do not hurt themselves. They use their strengths, and their strengths happen to be Ian O'Connor. And you look at Kevin Catlett on the other side, a hero from the 86 state championship team here at Halls, and he's really under the gun at Clinton. He needs a win tonight. In fact, both these teams need a win. It's an elimination game of sorts in this region.
Well, we talked about how high-scoring these teams are. I talked to Gary Shepard, and he said, well, I hope it's high-scoring for the team in red. He's just a country guy that's coached at Vanderbilt, spent 5.5 years there, coached at Rice. He's had his experience, and he's got a pretty good program right here. At 3-2 on the season, they need a win tonight. Check out O'Connor. You want to see a leg? There's a field goal right there. It's good. That's ridiculous.
And just for the viewer at home, that is not wind dated as you look at Ian O'Connor coming off the field there, and that young man is put together, and he flat out hammered that ball through the uprights.
That's ridiculous. He did that last week against Farragut. Watched the game last week, and the referee said he made 3 field goals on the kickoff. Now, it doesn't count for 3 points, but you talk about a leg, he's got the leg.
In Canadian football, he's dangerous.
No question about that. Let's set you up here. Hall's 3-2 on the season. 0-2 in region play. On the other side of the football, Clinton is 1-4 overall, but more importantly, 1-1 in region play. Dragons take the ball up their own 20, up the middle, and they find some running room. Nice little carry for about 8 yards, as Clinton would love to keep the ball on the ground and just grind it out. Here's the Clinton offense tonight. The Tennessee Sporting Goods starting lineup. Todd Tinker, Robert Schmidt, Matt Metcalf, Josh McCamey, and Luke Brockwell up front. Foley, Witt, Souter, Dye, Brown, and Sharp, all the guys that the Dragons hope can run up and down the field tonight in what right now, Tony, is a dry atmosphere.
And there's no wing tee here, as we told you. They've run the wing tee all year until the second half of last week. And here you see they start with a couple of runs off tackle, and they get positive yardage. A first down is the way Clinton wants to start here on the road.
Well, as long as you can just get a first down, you'll keep the ball on the ground as long as you can. Tennessee Sporting Goods defensive lineup for Halls: Landon Daniels, Chris Young, Matt Garrett, and Michael Mashinsky. Your starting guys up front, linebackers, Gunter and Lowry, and the secondary. Gary Shepard, unusual, has 5 defensive backs. Lane, Grove, Minot, Ellis, and Lobetti, the 5 defensive backs. Now, Clinton's not necessarily a passing team, but Shepard said, I want to make sure they can't throw on me.
Well, I tell you, Mario Foley's a guy, as a flag comes down here, and I believe we're going to have, I'll be curious to see what the call is here, but getting back to your point regarding this team, they have a lot of athletes. For a team that has trouble scoring points as they've had on the year, some people feel it's more scheme related than it is personnel related.
Here are the Zebras tonight. Candy Sharp is the referee. Danny Roberts, Sam McKenzie, Reno Hall, Lee Hedrick, and Greg Household are the guys that hopefully will keep this game under control. First down and 5. It was 5 yards against the defense. Just underway at Halls. Clinton going to run the option and going to turn it up for positive yardage. And the Dragons are already past midfield. There's our quarterback.
Did we tell you at the top that Mario Foley's a great athlete? 6'1", 170 pounds. A kid that transferred from Oak Ridge here to Clinton. And if you watch him here in the open field as he gets the football, a great ball fake on the underneath handoff, and then he takes it with authority, and that's what you teach. Finish, finish, finish. Nice game.
14 yards on the carry. Interesting story. You talk about Foley. He is a transfer from Oak Ridge. Didn't even play football at Oak Ridge last year because of family reasons. Kevin Catlett said, I guarantee you one thing, I'm glad he's playing football for us. Dragons on the handoff up the middle, quick hitter, and once again, no reason to throw if you can get 5, 14, 20 yards of carry, which is what they're doing.
Well, and the scary thing about it here is that you see Timmy Witt carry the ball there, And this football team is one that has the ability. They have 5 wideouts that can all catch the ball. They have several guys that are in double figures in catches on the year, which at this level of football is rare to see. They'll throw the ball all over the place if given the opportunity. This is not the way Halls wants to start this football game, letting them run.
No, and could be a throwing situation here on a 2nd and 4, kind of trip them up a little bit, but the Dragons will keep it on the ground. We've got a fumble. Football on the ground, a lot of red shirts around that one, but they're holding up 3 fingers.
Yeah, and that's a good sign for Clinton, but there you see. You ask the question, as Josh McCamey is the guy that got on it alertly for Clinton, as you look at him, you ask the question, how does this team, a team that has such great athletes as this one, and you look at Mario Foley on this first drive, and you say, these guys must be tough to stop offensively. They've hurt themselves a lot this year.
There have been some other teams here in East Tennessee on the college level that if they'd stop hurting themselves, they'd move up and down the football field. 3rd down and 1 at the 40. Clinton with the ball, 2.5 minutes into the game. Still no score between Clinton and Halls. The handoff up the middle, and finally the Red Devils come up with a defensive play, and what a time to do it on a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and Joe Gunter comes up there and makes the stop on Timmy Witt, and they've gone with a steady diet of Timmy Witt. And Joe Gunter getting in there, and if you look at his penetration, it's tough for a ball carrier to make a play. That play broke down at the point, loss of 2.
Lost yardage on that one. You almost wonder early in the game if you go for it here with the success you've had running. Kevin Catlett says no. Gary Shepard says watch the fake. 4th down and 3 at the 39. And the Dragons hoping to pin Halls deep. Hassan is the kicker for Clinton. And he gets a little squibber. It's going to bounce crossfield, and a pretty good little bounce for Clinton. Down out of bounds at the 13-yard line, and that's where the Red Devils will set up shop. Red Devils pulled off an upset a week ago as they beat Farragut 23-21, previously undefeated Farragut. We are just underway, 2.5 minutes into the game. Scoreless, Clinton and Halls. Red Devils with the ball when we come back in the McDonald's Game of the Week.
Schaefer, I've been considering you to head up sales.
Hanson, I've been thinking of you for that new board position.
Word is traveling fast. McDonald's Double Quarter Pounder with Cheese is a great tasting sandwich for a serious size appetite. Add fries and a drink, and you've got an extra value meal that's all business.
Sure hope I can get someone's email fixed today.
You know how to play the game, but the rules keep changing. One day you're feeling on top, the next thing you know, you need styling, name brands, and hot gear. So how do you win? You go to Players. New shipments popping up daily. Now Players is making it easier than ever for you to be the showstopper. Get to the source of up-and-coming style-defining collections, Players Sportswear, in the Broadway Shopping Center.
Welcome back to Halls. Red Devils get the ball for the first time for Gary Shepard. This is a fun offense to watch, Tony, because you really got to concentrate on defense. You never know. It's almost like the single wing because the football's going this direction, that direction. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. It's an offense, though, that hasn't been as productive as they would have liked on the year. 19 first downs coming into tonight, just 2 touchdowns in the last 5 quarters.
First down and 10 at their own 13. Red Devils get the ball, pitch to the left, and there's little Timbo Lively, and part of the problem is who cares what offense you run? If you can't block them, you're not going to get positive yardage. Let's set you up tonight with the Tennessee Sporting Goods starting lineup for Halls. Red Devils, the team on offense, only 2 yards on the first carry. Bubba Trotter, Donovan Langford, Jamison Dowling, Josh Horner, and Andrew Jackson, your guys up front. Flynn, Davis, Lively, Lane, Ellis, and Wright. All the guys at Halls is hoping can run up and down the football field tonight. A week ago, Halls and Farragut, they got off to a quick start, 7-7, before you even sat down in your seats. So far, we have got a comedy of errors, and it looks like 5 yards against Clinton.
Maybe some movement in there. We'll have to see exactly what the call is. We had a neutral zone infraction on Clinton's first drive offensively. Now we have one gone the other way. Good call, though. Patna, good call.
Yeah, we've evened things out already. 5 one way, 5 the other. Kevin Catlett said, you know, we've got a team that's young, that's got a great future. Right now, I just need us to get some wins. 1-4 on the season, but boy, 1-1 in region play. A win tonight, and they're 2-1, and they're right in the thick of things.
Yeah, and Halls, on the other hand, if they lose tonight, they're really in the soup. They're already 0-2 in the league and 3-2 overall. They need a victory here.
Red Devils hand off to Lively up the middle. Not much going there on a 2nd down and 3. Doesn't need much, but only gets 1. Let's set the Clinton defensive lineup. The Tennessee Sporting Goods starting lineup for Clinton: Hensley, Godsey, Kinzer, and Morrison. 3 sophomores and a 9th grader up front. Gomez, Reap, and McCamey, your linebackers, and your secondary, Dye, Brown, Sharp, and Miller. Awfully young on the defensive front for Clinton, but a lot of talent as you look up front. Sophomore, freshman up front. 3rd down and 2. Red Devils on the option, looking for the pitch. Not making the pitch, but getting some positive yardage anyway. Running for the nice carry there is your quarterback, Kent Flynn.
I'll tell you, that's a pretty carry by Kent Flynn as he takes it. They run the option to the left side and to the weak side of the field. And if you look at him in the open field and the way he handles the football, we saw earlier Foley with a nice job. And here, just the same, great ball work, protect the ball in the open field. That's a well-coached football team. As you take a look at it again, nothing really special or fancy here, but efficient nonetheless. And they're out near midfield or out at the 40-yard line early in the game.
Close to a little face mask right there. No call. Doesn't matter. Hall's happy with the result. 1st down and 10 at the 40. And they will hand it straight up the gut. Not much going against the Dragons youngsters on that play. Keeping them honest.
You know, you say not much going, but still they're able to get about 3 yards on the play, which for them sets up a decent down and distance on 2nd down and 7. Kinzer with the stop on the play. But, you know, you look at this Halls team, you look at Timbo Lively, you look at your quarterback, Kent Flynn. Again, it's a lot like the team we're looking at offensively in Clinton. You would think these guys could score some points here if you look at the athletes on the field.
But Timbo Lively's had some success at Halls this year, a little banged up and a little slowed down. A 2nd down and 6 for the Red Devils, and once again they hand it off up the middle, and not much going again, this time just about a yard.
Yeah, I was talking with one of their offensive coaches right before the game began tonight as he was going to his perch up above us in the press box, and his comment to me was, we're a lot like a box of chocolates with our offense. We never know what we're going to get. We know one thing. We are going to get some solid kicking, but we have to block tonight and have to take advantage of an undermanned defensive line from Clinton. And thus far, they've got themselves in a must-make here early.
Gary Shepard and that Forrest Gump coaching staff at Halls, box of chocolates. 3rd down and 6. 5 minutes to go, 1st quarter. Passing down here. Flynn looking to pass. He got a shot, puts it out. He's got his man, and looks like we've got a 1st down. Dallin Ellis there, the senior, gets a 1st down for the Red Devils.
Dallin Ellis on this play just comes out of the backfield and drags across, and it was an excellent, well-designed play. And if you look at Kent Flynn, he waits for Ellis to come open here. He doesn't get rid of the ball too fast and just shot puts the ball out into the flat there, and that'll get you a gold medal or a 1st down, whichever's first.
And we're waiting for the discus throw after that one. 1st down and 10 at the 47. Red Devils now cross midfield. Clinton got past midfield on their drive. There's Ellis on the sideline taking a break. Red Devils going to pitch it out to Timbo Lively around right in, looking for the corner, and not much going, just about decapitated over there on the sideline.
And you can see Timbo Lively on this play. He's running gingerly. Again, had the lower back problems the entire week and has been limited the last couple of weeks in practice, and that really a ginger carry for him around the right side.
Nonetheless, 4.5 yards, we'll call it. 2nd down 5, 2nd down 6, however you look at him. And Lively around the right end. He is lively with those feet.
Yes.
That's bad commentary, but at any rate, he is fairly lively. 2nd down and 6, we will call it. Hall's on the option again, handoff up the middle. And they're not fooling anybody right now.
Well, that belly dive's not with what Clinton is doing and what they're giving them defensively early on. The reason Halls is running that is they're trying to set up something else later in the game, perhaps off play action, because at this point, that's not going to be effective for them with the way the Dragons are aligned defensively.
Obviously, Kevin Catlett says, guys, we're going to stop the middle. Gary Shepard hanging out on the sideline. Always wears shorts. Doesn't matter if it's 10 degrees out there. Shepard's got his shorts on. Tonight, a beautiful evening, about 75 degrees, so he's fine with the shorts. Pitch it back to Lively. Lively looking for some room. Lively's got some room. 44 yards if he can take it to the house. Doesn't quite get it. We'll call it 40, but that's good enough to get inside the 5, and the Devils looking for pay dirt.
Blake Sharp, his counterpart on the other side, is a guy that comes up and makes the stop along with Anthony Brown, a couple of backs. As it is, though, Lively showing you what makes this guy such a special player here in the East Tennessee area, as the pitch is probably a little early, and he makes 1, 2, 3, count them. 3 guys miss, and then turns it upfield, and like all ball carriers do, protecting the ball there at the end of the run, and Halls is in business big time early.
41 yards on the carry. Ball, we'll call it at the 4-yard line. Handoff up the middle of Lively, looking for some blocking up front. Doesn't get it there. Now, a week ago, the Devils, and what they love to do here is that little play action. Fake it to Lively here, roll out, and hit that tight end. Might want to look for that on the next play.
Yeah, something along those lines. Again, you have to be impressed with the way they've come out here offensively. This is a team on the year, as we were telling you, 2 touchdowns in the last 5 quarters, and opponents know with this group they've struggled inside the red zone as well. So this is a key drive for them to try and punch the ball in here early and make that statement, not only to this other squad, but to themselves. They can do it.
2nd down and 3 at the 3. That's what you call a quarterback sneak. Flynn gets in for the touchdown. Kent Flynn, the junior, and the Devils take the early 6-0 lead.
And that was easy.
Well, that was about as easy as you can get. Why hand it to the fullback if the quarterback can just take 3 steps and score a touchdown? This one's taking candy from a baby.
Well, and you look, he catches a defensive line that's completely off guard here. Look at the gap there.
Sure.
The gap between the 2 tackles inside was wide enough that I could have scored there.
Well, now let's not get pushy here. 6-0 Devils with the touchdown. O'Connor, our first look at him. He could have hit that from about 70, but it's only an extra point. 7-0. Red Devils take the early lead, and now the Dragons try to hold serve. We have a score. 7-0 Halls with the lead. 2:12 to go in the first quarter. From Halls, this is the McDonald's High School Football Game of the Week on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast.
Tennessee Sporting Goods
With the lead, and now Clinton gets the football back. And Tony, you talk about a team that's 1-4 that has had some close games this year. They lost to West by 7, Oak Ridge by 7, Carter by 1. This is a team that in close games has not fared too well. They need to do something. Oh, he didn't make the field goal here.
This is not the start they needed. And the thing about Halls is if you give up scores, you're starting at your own 20-yard line, period. This guy is, he's kicked 94% of his kickoffs. 17 of 17 he is on field goals. He's kicked 90% of his, or 94% of his kickoffs into the end zone for touchbacks. So that's quite a weapon.
Well, it's kind of funny. I asked Gary Shepard, as I ask all the coaches when we do these games, who's your best player? I said, is it Timbo Lively? He goes, nah, it's O'Connor.
Yeah.
It's our kicker. No question about it. Dragons take the football over, 7-0, 2:12 to go first quarter. They take it at their own 20-yard line, and don't panic here. Just keep handing the football off and getting positive yardage. Not much there, though. Halls makes an adjustment at only 1 yard on the first carry.
And interesting, in the early part of the game, they're working Timmy Witt a lot, a guy who was coming into tonight, had 34 carries on 135 yards on the season. And at some point, you would have to think that they're going to try to get Mario Foley out onto the perimeter where he can do some damage to this Halls defense.
Well, and Tony, we've talked about the wide receivers. Blake Sharp a week ago, 7 catches, 184 yards. Keep an eye on him. Haven't gotten him the football yet, but a guy that you really got to keep your eye on a 2nd down and 8 at the 22-yard line. Dragons looking for him. They get the ball out on the right side, and they get it to our man, Blake Sharp, and nice short gain, not much, but just enough to keep that Red Devil defense honest. 4 yards on the catch.
And you have to credit Dalen Ellis, second time we call his name tonight, for coming up and making the stop. And, you know, the thing about a guy like a Sharp is he could turn what are easy-looking plays into big gains. That's why you get the ball into a guy like this. Hands, not the fastest guy in the world. He's what I call a functional football player, has excellent functional speed. As you look at Foley's numbers on the year, this is a kid with a lot of talent.
A lot of talent. They'd like to see that. On 3rd down and 5, Foley rolling left, has some room to run if he can outrun the linebacker, and almost does. If we were only playing horseshoes or hand grenades, he's close to a first down, and they give it to him.
Jake Minot and also Jason Grove come up from the secondary and lay the lumber. I mean, they really lay the lumber on Mario Foley. Let's check it out in real time, and let's enjoy it.
Pretty good hitting right there, boys. Justin Lowry, number 32, a guy you need to watch for Halls. Hadn't played, hadn't practiced because of a broken left hand and a sprained ankle. Shepard found out about, 10-15 minutes before the game last week he was going to play. He's in there tonight, number 32 as a linebacker. 1st down and 10 for Clinton, rolling out to the right. They found something that they like and almost had a catch there looking for their man, Blake Sharp.
And again, on that play, you see what makes Foley so dangerous.
Anthony Brown, excuse me.
You allow Foley to roll out. You allow him to try and pick his spots. And you look at Catlett on the sideline, and he knows, and they know, they've got to do something here because they do not want to kick this ball back to that Halls team that had them confused on defense on their first possession.
Another guy to watch on the football field is number 5 for Clinton. His name is Jonathan Dye. May remember the name Dedrick Dye, basketball player for Clinton. And there's a run up the middle. The Dragons find something that they like, and they're across midfield. 21 yards on the carry for the big guy.
Jesse Souter is a really talented kid here who had a huge game back in week 2 against Oak Ridge and caught some eyes. And if you look at Jesse Souter on this play, they cross up the Halls defense. Everyone's expecting the back to have the ball. He's into the secondary by the time anybody knows Souter's there. Makes a couple guys miss, and away he goes into Halls territory for the 2nd time in 2 drives.
The Dragons, as Tony said, had crossed midfield for the 2nd time tonight, and they are going to throw. There's the man. You get the football in his hand. You let him operate, and he makes some yardage. Near 1st down yardage for Blake Sharp.
You sense the rhythm now that the Dragons are starting to get into as Derek Wright rode him out of bounds on that last play, but not before he was able to get about 9. And again, effortless from Blake Sharp's end. Just turns a 4-yard play into a 9-yard play and made it look easy. And look at this guy's average when he touches the football, Mark. Yeah. You can't tell me this team shouldn't have more than 79 points on the year when you have a guy averaging 19 yards a catch.
Well, it seems to me you need to get him the football a few more times. If you can get 20 yards a pop with the kid, you get him the football about 10 times a game, you get 200 yards right there.
You know, in preparing for this game, I talked with several different people who have done their games this year radio-wise around the area, and also to some coaches here in East Tennessee. And a couple people told me, they said, when you look at their talent, and you look at the athletes they have, you would never believe that that's a team that would score 77 points.
And is 1-4. I mean, 1-4. But once again, we talk about those teams that lose the close games.
Right.
And they are literally 15 points away from being a team that's 4-1. Anderson County, the only game they really weren't in, they lost 33-13. Catlett's done a heck of a job, but if he could just get them in the 4th quarter to win that close game, it'd be a different story. 18 seconds to go, 1st quarter. Dragons with a 1st down and 10 at the 39. Pretty good hitting in there. Take the ball down to about the 36-yard line. Some tough running for the Dragons.
Jesse Souter paid the price for that 4 yards again. Jason Grove, who's a senior, he's 5'10", 165 pounds, comes up from the secondary and just lays the wood to Souter one more time. Say this about Halls early in this game. They're giving up some yards, but they are hitting.
Well, and that's the thing that pays off as you go through the game. You start talking about depth. That is the end of the 1st quarter. Halls with a 7-0 lead. Kevin Catlett has to like what he's seeing. He's got a team on the move, down by a touchdown. But if they get in the end zone, we're back to tie. We're the McDonald's High School Football Game of the Week on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. Been to CSS on Sunday for a huge game in the Southeastern Conference. Alabama plays host to number 8 Georgia. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern time right here on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. Tony, that could be a pretty darn good football game right there.
Alabama right now is as close as the SEC has to an elite football team.
Hop catch and carry here, and Merry Christmas to Halls. They drop the football, and Jason Grove comes up with it, and the Red Devils have squelched a Clinton drive.
Jason Grove's had just a great quarter and a play here thus far. He's already made 3 stops on the night, and there you see him celebrating, going over to the sidelines. And that's the kind of thing that fires Gary Shepard up, because this is what this team feeds off. You can see there the pitch a little hard from Foley, and Grove is right there to snatch it out of the air. And if you look at this again, he almost catches this ball cleanly. Watch the reflexes by Jason Grove. Wow, that's a catch in anybody's book.
Timmy Witt right there. Timmy Witt on defense now gets a chance to take his frustration out on the Halls offense, but taking his eye off the football, watching the defensive secondary lineman coming up to make the hit. They hand off inside to Lively, keeping it honest. A little quick 2 yards run, and Tony, take us through the first quarter stats.
Well, you look at these numbers. You've got Clinton right now with 5 first downs, Halls with 3. The yards are basically even. The passing yards are nil. Total yards are basic. Just a simple first quarter of football there, but still some good hitting. And Halls doing what they had to do, which is go down the field and get a score.
It's all a wash when you look at the stats. Everything's so even, time of possession, but 7-0 is the only score that really separates these two teams and the only number that counts. Handoff up the middle by the Red Devils again. Well, they're going to stick with that, aren't they?
Well, you know, you look at a guy like a Lively, who's a terrific athlete inside, and why not continue to use him? And actually, Kilgore got the last carry, but Josh McCamey is a guy. You talk about how athletic some of the linebackers are for Halls, and they are. This McCamey kid is also an athletic player, and I think we'll call his name a time or two tonight as we have a key 3rd down here.
3rd down and 6 for the Red Devils. If you're just joining us, we have just started the second quarter. Red Devils have been running the football an awful lot, but here a passing situation, and that's what they do. And right there for the defensive play, in great position, is number 6 for the Dragons, Anthony Brown.
You know, Ken Flynn better be careful, because he was telegraphing that last pass there out into the flat.
Yep.
And as it was, the secondary was able to come up and make the play, and really for no gain. But he has to be careful. We've seen him shot put the ball out in the flat a little bit. You hang that ball up there, and it's 6 the other way.
Such a slow developing play. Those defensive backs, as you say, are going to start figuring this thing out. And as soon as they do, Tony, that's when you're on the out and up.
No question. And here's your man, Ian O'Connor. We're going to see his leg now as a punter, and he can hit it as a punter as well. Watch this guy.
43-yard line. O'Connor with a nice little spiral. Good punt there. Takes it back to the 17-yard line. 33. How many yards is that? That's about 40-yard kick. Clinton gets the ball back again. 7-0 Halls. The high school football game of the week on McDonald's by McDonald's is coming your way next. And Grandma's watching football tonight. 10:25 to go in the first half. 7-0 Red Devils. Hall's cheerleaders do indeed have something to cheer about, but Clinton's got the football. And Tony, you talk about a team that's moved the ball up and down the field, but you said it at the start of the game. If they don't shoot themselves in the foot, they've scored a lot more than they have this year.
Oh, but they're pretty. They're pretty. Those 79 points they've scored on the year are pretty, let me tell you.
Dragons with the football, their own 17, 1st down and 10. Handoff up the middle, not much going there. Red Devils defense stepping up and holding that to a gain of 2.
You know, I say that half in jest about them being pretty, but again, they do have a lot of great athletes, and you look at them and you say, how can you be halfway into the season and have 79 points? It all goes back to that adage, which I live in my life as an Italian male in this world. Football's a game of inches, just like life is.
Real.
From the vertically challenged, we will tell you that.
Beautiful.
Yes.
2nd down and 8. Dragons at the football at their own 19-yard line. Dragons been having a lot of luck on the ground tonight, but they go to the air right here. Faking the little out, going up, and there's your man Sharp, and makes a beautiful grab. Wonderful pass and catch out there, as Steve Spurrier would say. And a big play for the Dragons as they get into Red Devil territory again.
You get the feeling Blake Sharp's a football player, but even more than that, you really start to believe that Mario Foley, if given the chance to develop, could be a nice quarterback. The junior here on play action steps back into the pocket, lets it go, a perfect pass. Sharp with a little adjustment there at the end. And here, if you look at it again, just a little hitch, pump, boom, and just enough to freeze the corner. And Sharp with a nice adjustment over his shoulder. Big play.
37 yards. Watch out, jailbreak. Red Devils on the defense get in. Dallin Ellis again, and that's sack number 1 tonight for the Devils.
And Dallin Ellis, a guy who has 3 tackles in the football game so far and a sack there, and that's what we call a great play from the press box, a great call from the box, as that time they were able to exploit something in the protection.
Loss of 7 yards on the sack, and Catlett gives 7 of that 38 back and brings up a 2nd down and 17. And let's watch it again. This one, a absolute jailbreak by the Red Devils defense. Heads up, run for cover. We've got a loss on the play. Dragons in a passing situation, 2nd down and 17. They will indeed throw the football, rolling right if they can throw the football. It's a jump ball and a good defensive play by the receiver.
Ill-advised throw there by Foley. He's lucky to get this ball back, as Matt Lane should have had it. And Corey Chapman alertly saw the ball up in the air, and that time Foley is really fortunate to get it back and get an opportunity here on 3rd and long. And if you look at him, he rolls out, and again, you use the term jailbreak on the last play. What do you call this?
Jailbreak.
I'm in a lot of pain here. Look, as he lets go of the football. But as it is, the receiver then is playing defensive back on the tail end. And now we have a 3rd down and long. This Clinton team, though, is capable of converting this 3rd down. Blocking, though, is of the essence.
Best defensive play on the last play by Chapman, holding off the interception. A 3rd down and 17 at the 50. 8:24 to go in the first half. And on a passing situation, they hand off up the middle, playing field position. Tony, I think you go back to saying they've made the little mistakes that have stopped them. Let's not make the mistake on that play.
Well,
get it and punt it and play field position.
Amen, because you're playing an offense on the year like your offense that struggled at times to move the football, struggled at times to make positive plays offensively. It's only a 7-0 game. You're midway through the 2nd quarter. I think that's a smart play there by the Clinton offensive coaching staff.
Kevin Catlett not upset about that. It brings up a 4th down and 14 at the 43. Now you put it in the hands of your punter, looking to get that field position, and why you played smart. Nice little punt here. Hangs it up. Lively catches it at the 10, and Lively's got a wall. There goes the wall, and there goes Lively. But still a nice return of about 9 yards. Looked like a face mask at the end of the play.
Yeah, it was a face mask on the attempted tackle, actually, as Tedder was the guy that had a shot at him, and Lively showing you his elusiveness in the open field, and there's no question as to what that call is. That's going to be a face mask.
Boy, if you're Clinton, you had him back at the 10-yard line. A beautiful punt. Takes Lively back to the 10. But there's one missed tackle almost, just a little bit late, and gets a wall. And
there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty close, though.
You know, in a lot of senses. And then there's one at the end of the play as well.
Maybe that's the one.
On number 2, James Horton. So one almost face mask, and then another one just for good measure there at the end of the play. I think you're right. I think the one on Tedder's not actually a face mask. I think that was actually a clean attempt at a tackle.
Nonetheless, 1st down and 10 at the 25 for the Red Devils. Flynn going to run the option, going to pitch it fast, and we've got trouble. Clinton picks it up. Clinton's going to take this one into the touchdown, and guess who it is? Blake Sharp. Does it on offense, does it on defense. You said he's a playmaker. There he is.
Yeah, and he picks the ball up here out of the air, or off the ground rather, so calmly and coyly, and that kind of turnover there kills you. But again, we go back to the decision not to throw the ball in the air and punt, as the referees are conferring here.
They're talking.
I don't see any hankies down there, or do I?
Clinton is clapping. That means the touchdown will be upheld. There's the touchdown.
Okay, there's your flag. I guess an unsportsmanlike offsetting. Okay.
There you go.
That works for me.
So Sharp has his touchdown. Dragons have their touchdown, and we are almost tied. If we can get the extra point to go through, we'll have a 7-all game. Swinging gate over here on the side.
Yeah. You know, you go back to winning teams and losing teams, and so many times making decisions like that and having your coaching staff having the clear head to say, okay, we're going to punt the football here. We're going to play field position. Let's play for a turnover. And it worked out that time. That's why you punt the ball and play field position. You never know.
Swinging gate's going to swing around to a regular formation for the extra point. Just keeping them honest here.
Old school.
Old school. Keep them honest. Extra point. Very key here to tie it. And it is no good. Off to the right. How many times do missed extra points come back to haunt you at football games? 7-6 Halls is our new score. Beautiful night for football so far. The McDonald's High School Football Game of the Week on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast.
Unforced there, and the thing is, they finish the play. Blake Sharp alertly picks the ball up and runs with it. And that's one of those deals where coaches ordinarily are saying, fall on it, fall on it, fall on it, go, go, go.
It's like in basketball. No, no, no. Oh, good shot.
Thank you.
Good shot. Dragons with the kickoff, down by 1, 7-6, and this one will be returnable. Jake Minot takes the ball inside his own 5. Minot looking for some blockers, and good enough to get out to about the 24-yard line, but the Devils will set up shop out there.
We're already seeing in this game how the kicking game's coming into play. You talked about the missed extra point, after the last score by Clinton, and the kickoff there goes to about the 10, 12-yard line, which is generally what you see at the high school level when you don't have an Ian O'Connor. That's a fine high school kickoff there.
And for Clinton, you got to be happy. You only got 4 yards difference.
Sure.
O'Connor's booting the ball, out to a different county, but it's only 4 yards difference because of the coverage by Clinton. First down and 10 at the 24. Here come the Red Devils. They hand it off to Lively, looking for some blocking. Not much room on the right side.
Coming up and making the stop, Josh Morrison. First time we call his name tonight, sophomore. One of the sophomores you were talking about before. They go with 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores on the offensive line, or defensive line rather. And for this Clinton team, they're undersized and they're young. And talking to a couple of their coaches during the week, they tell me that at times in ball games, that's a deadly combination.
Well, and the thing is there's Lively, 6 carries, 51 yards, but boy, you look 2 years ahead for Clinton, and you say, imagine the depth they're going to have up there and the experience. Second down and 8, handoff up the middle, and the Red Devils have got one broken.
Big time running room.
Off into the secondary is Joe Gunter from the 26 all the way into Clinton territory. We'll call it at the 44-yard line.
Joe Gunter just fires out on this play, if you'll pardon the poor pun. But Joe Gunter, again, as they use the dive inside. And the great thing about this play is that it's so well disguised, and he hides in there amongst the blockers. And when he gets finally some running room, he's out on the perimeter, and Dye runs him down from behind, but not before a huge gain as Halls is back into Clinton territory.
And Dye, the defensive back there, just a 9th grader. That's the little brother of Diedrich Dye, great basketball player at Clinton. The handoff to Lively around the right side. Hello, thank you, man. Thanks for coming tonight. That's a good stick.
That's an excellent stick. That's the way you coach him. As Chad Reap comes up, another one of these sophomores, 6 feet, 175 pounds. And Lively is a guy who will make you miss at the point of attack, so you have to stay low on him and finish your tackle, and that is well done. Well done.
You talked about Timbo Lively. We talked about how little he is, and he's great in the open field, but he's got to get to that point. Reap gets in there and not going to let him reap the benefits of an open field. Second down and 11. Only 5:20 to go first half. It's Hall 7, Clinton 6, and Red Devils running the option, and we have got some room right here. Flynn in the defensive secondary, running, taking it from the 45 down to the 26. 19 yards on the carry, and the Red Devils are indeed in business. Kent Flynn.
And you can see with Kent Flynn how he's really starting to take to this offense, and he is down. And let's hope that the young man just had the wind knocked out of him. But on that play, you can see his decision-making. The thing that really helps quarterbacks when it comes to the option is when to decide to keep, when to pitch, when to hold, and when to turn. And if you'll watch here, he makes the right decision on all accounts. First, he shakes one tackler. Then he gets into the open field. And from there on out, he just does the rest, never even looking to pitch the ball as Flynn remains down on the field.
Here's our big man, number 41. He blows right by Flynn. The kid who makes the tackle on the play before Reap, this time runs right by the play.
Sometimes you reap what you sow, as they say, but on that play, he did overrun. And again, a nice job by the quarterback, Flynn, who remains down on the field, and we hope that he just had the wind knocked out of him.
And the backup quarterback is Jake Minot. Flynn, pretty good yardage, 3 carries, 41 yards, are pulling the helmet off, and you hope that's not a concussion-type situation because he's having a hard time. Gary Shepard, always a classy guy with his players, always walks out onto the field, checks on his players. Some coaches elect to stay on the sideline. Shepard always chooses to go out to be with his kids, and there you
And there you look at Jake Minot, who, to tell you what kind of an athlete this young man is, last week in their game against Farragut, he had a punt return for a touchdown in that game, which really was the difference in the ball game as Halls was able to get a win. So a special player on many accounts. And now you see our quarterback as he rises to his feet, and he's up, and he looks like he's a little shaken up. What a tough young man, though.
Well, and Tony, in the loss to Powell for Halls, Flynn went down in that game. Minot comes in, throws a fluky interception that Powell gets. Powell wins a close football game. Minot, a pretty good athlete, but Flynn is your starting quarterback, and you want that starter in there as much as you can. Let's reset the game for you. 7-6 Halls, 5 minutes to go. First down and 10 at the 24 of Clinton. Red Devils likely going to keep this one on the ground, and that's indeed what they do. Timbo Lively into the secondary, looking for a block. Timbo Lively, oh my goodness, he's being hog-tied. Dragged down at the 6-yard line. Someone's calling it a fumble. The referee's throwing a flag, and we've got mayhem over there.
We have all kinds of extracurricular activity down there, and I do not mean after-school projects. Some serious shenanigans going on at the back end of that play, and let's see when they sort this out. I think what you're going to have is a personal foul on Clinton, maybe some frustration at this point as Lively was able to get into their secondary in a hurry, and you see that young man's legs.
They're pointing Blake Sharp over to the sideline. Surely I hope they're not telling him that he's done for the night, but they are pointing him to the sidelines, and the referees are talking this one over.
Yeah, I would call that an escort over on the far side of the field with Blake Sharp, and let's see what's going to happen here.
Obviously, Gary Shepard and his coaching staff hoping that number 8's done for the night, but boy,
there he goes, takes his helmet off.
He takes his helmet off over on the sideline, over on Clinton's side, and he is headed to the bench.
We have enough hankies down there. It is beginning allergy season here as the trees are starting to turn here, a lot of the mold in the air, but there are hankies all over the field. You look at Blake Sharp, and that's a young guy who's a gamer, and he obviously is frustrated right now as apparently he's taken himself out of the game.
Well, yeah, he's undoing the shoulder pads.
He doesn't like it. There's no question. A guy that's a competitor like him does not like it. And you see the referees trying to sort out exactly what went on the field on that play. I'll be surprised if we don't have a couple of fouls here.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like throwing a kid out of a football game on a play like that. Blake Sharp is such a big part of this football game. If you're a referee, you don't want to decide the football game. You calm him down. Maybe you send him to the sideline. You give him a penalty. You give him a warning. But you take a Blake Sharp out of the football game, you're almost helping to decide the outcome.
And what's interesting there is at the back end of that play, if you think about it, Timbo Lively, his counterpart offensively in terms of star-studded talent is Blake Sharp. We're going to have several penalties. There you go. A couple of unsportsmanlike calls. There we go.
What,
2 and 1 it looked like.
Looked like 2 on Halls and 1 on Clinton. Let's watch it again. Sharp has the pads off. Let's watch this one closely. Minot hands the ball off. Lively runs down, has good field position as he takes it down inside the 5. Watch number 8. He grabs him by the shoulder pads.
Oh.
Of him.
Little kicking there.
And
oh,
then he
punches him.
Okay.
Wow, he's got to go for that.
I changed my story.
He's got to go.
I changed my story. You throw a punch, you're done for the night. Sharp threw a punch. He should be on the sideline with his pads off.
Great job by the guys in the truck, too, for staying with that, because as you can see, there is no room for this at any level. I don't care what level football you're at. I don't care in the professional level where it's as mean as it can get. The upper level Division I style of football. As you see Sharp there, he takes him and he just pile drives him to the ground. And then the extracurricular stuff at the end. There it is. Boy, I'll tell you, that looks like something you see on backyard wrestling. Get the lights out.
Yeah, that's a great view right there. You feel bad for Clinton. They lose a kid like Sharp, probably their best offensive player.
Yeah.
But boy, Tony, you do something like that, I don't care who you are.
It's hard to explain that. And, you know, I know that young man's a quality young man. He's been a leader on this football team, and he's a heck of an athlete. But that's tough to swallow.
Now, it's kind of a good news, bad news deal. It looks like we've got the 2 penalties against Halls, the 1 against Clinton.
Right.
But I think if you're Halls, you take the 15-yard penalty to lose Blake Sharp.
Well, no. What they do here at the end, and you'll see this, is there's some protection. Sharp gets up and swings at a couple guys. He
still
takes
swinging.
a couple more punches, but there are a couple of other guys that we're not seeing who were involved trying to protect their teammate. And I say, if I'm Coach Shepard, and you look at the young man over there right now, and he's obviously frustrated.
I think he knows he let his team down.
Yeah. I thought he had a UFC shirt on for Ultimate Fighting Championship. He looked like Ken Shamrock on the bottom of that play. And now Coach Catlett's in a really precarious position here because he's coming over. He wants an explanation from the official. They're giving it to him. He's in a precarious spot here because they have to regroup now without their best offensive player, who's all of a sudden over there in his T-shirt.
Well, and Tony, not just that. Let's keep in mind on defense, he's the one that scored the touchdown.
There's no question.
So defensively, he may be your best defensive player as well.
And he's made their only really positive offensive play tonight.
That's exactly right. First down and 10. Your quarterback Flynn is back in the football game, and we've got jacked up players out here. You can hear the popping from up here.
I want to make a point, though, about the penalty of Stephen Davis with the carry the first time we call his name tonight. The point is this. At the end of that play, I don't think Gary Shepard is upset with his kids getting that penalty in retaliation, because when you see something that egregious going on the football field, you have to come to the rescue and you have to defend a teammate who's down and prone like that when he's being hit. So to me, there's never really a good penalty of that nature. If there is one, though, that's the case where it is.
The first down on the play, but unfortunately, Tony, Kevin Catlett down there has no idea what we just saw. He hasn't been able to see. He still doesn't know what Blake Sharp did.
I can promise you, when Kevin Catlett sees the video, Blake Sharp is going to run some steps this week, because that is not what Clinton wants to see from their football team, the Clinton community, and also that coaching staff. I can promise you that.
Well, he'll figure it out tonight. He'll get back and take a look at the film, and that's when he'll figure it out. Back to football here, handoff up the middle, big hitting by the Dragons. Dragons know every one of those players wearing white with the orange numbers is going to have to step up at this point. Stephen Davis, not the one playing for Spurrier, 3 carries, 11 yards up the middle on some tough running.
Yeah, and you look at this Clinton team, and right now the rhythm is theirs in this football game as they've got it going.
We've got one going on here. Fisticuffs, football, you name it, we've got it. 7-6 Halls, the McDonald's High School football game of the week. We'll be back in just a minute. And Devils with the lead, 7-6. We've had fisticuffs, we've had a defensive touchdown, we've had long offensive plays. Tony, we've had a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, fire-breathing Dragon here in that last defensive series. Be careful.
Second down and 10. Red Devils with a handoff. Timbo Lively, not much doing there. There is a penalty flag.
I think you're going to see a hold there. It looked like one of the tackles there was guilty of a hold. Timbo Lively again on the carry, and Lively just continues to chew up some yardage on the ground, but this might be a case where we see a penalty against Halls.
Referees had a lot to talk about in this one. 3:40 to go. It is illegal use of the hands on the Red Devils, and they are moving in the wrong direction. Shepard hates those mental mistakes.
Well, and they're a team that commit so few. I mean, they average about 3 a game, which at this level, you know, when you're averaging 3 penalties at this level, that is excellent. That's excellent on any level.
Well, Shepard had his good years at Halls from 95 to 97. Scott Carter was a kid that scored an awful lot of touchdowns for him. They were a state runner-up, made it to Murfreesboro to the state championship game. Lost a tough one.
I tell you, this is a great community to come and watch a football game. You come to Halls to see a game, a great support from the community, a tight-knit community, and they love their football here at Halls. A demanding job.
Kent Flynn, the quarterback, in the 3rd down and 10. How about a little reverse? You ain't going nowhere. Maybe you are. Missed tackle. You're not going anywhere but the end zone. All the way for the touchdown. Dallin Ellis doesn't stop on the play. Stop for a 7-yard loss. Keeps the legs turning until he hits pay dirt. That, my friends, was an athletic play. Great run there by Dallin Ellis. Well, we've got to see this one again, and I know we will, but wow, what a run.
You know, you talk about Ellis and the fact that there are 4 or 5 or 6 guys that have a shot at him. Kyle Kinzer's the first that has a shot. And credit the kid because he keeps on moving down the sideline. And Mark, I agree with you. I thought he was stopped back around the 30-yard line. As you look at Kevin Catlett, and he is going to be one red hot individual when this half expires, you have to consider what happens here. First, his best player gets thrown out of the game, and then this. You cannot defense this play any better than that.
No.
As he makes the first man miss, Chad Reap.
Another miss one?
And he gets another missed tackle.
Wow.
And look at the wall.
Wow.
It's just there.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's one of the worst play-by-play jobs ever. He looks like he's 7 yards back. I mean, you're watching it again. I think I heard the announcer say, oh, you're going nowhere about right there. Ooh, about 20 yards later, he's in for 6.
You can't be in a better position there than number 56, Josh McCamey, is to make that stop. 2 guys had flush shots at him and could not drag him down. And you got to ask yourself this question right now about Catlett. In that series, they basically just had their hearts ripped out. This is a team that desperately needs a win tonight in this region. He needs a win. It's been a tough go for him in his 4 years. He's a guy that graduated here from Halls, played on their state champ. Tell you, it's going Hall's way right now.
Well, he's got to be in damage control right now after losing your player. And boy, what just happened, not only do you lose your best player, then they stick a knife in your chest right there. And all of a sudden, you just got to take a breath and say, huh.
Well, that play is deflating enough. When you have 2 shots at a guy, that's deflating enough. But on the backside of getting Blake Sharp thrown out of the game for what was just sheer stupidity, you've got to say right now that they're reeling.
Well, they better get something going, and the human windmill kicks it almost. Kicks it just into the end zone.
Well, I'm going to cite my best Bob Seeger tune here because he's kicking against the wind there. And he's not old and running. He's young and strong, and he's running against the wind.
Woo! Here's where we lose control of our broadcast. 7 plays, 76 yards, and 1 kicked out football player. 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Ella 16 yards on the run. Actually ran about 30 yards on the play, but only gets credit for 16.
I'll tell you, that was one of the more eventful series you're going to ever call in your lifetime, Mark. That was a little bit of everything for you.
Now, what's funny is it's 14-6. Halls has the lead, but if you're Clinton, you break one play, get the 2-point conversion, and all of a sudden you got a halftime tied. Not on this play. Red Devils, good defensive effort.
And again, Clinton back on offense as they're just trying to create some positive yardage. Jesse Souter, an excellent athlete who broke a 15-yard run back in the first quarter. This game right now, it's incumbent upon Clinton to try and get a first down here just to stop the bleeding. Even though we're getting near the half, you almost get a sense of Halls gets the ball back, some strange things could happen here at the end of the half.
14-6 is the score. Red Devils with the lead, 2nd down and 10, 2.5 to go first half. Dragons going to look to throw. They have no Blake Sharp to throw to, so not much running room. Number 7, Mario Foley, the junior, takes it up. And, you know, boy, you talk about looking out there. I mean, it's like Peyton Manning out there with Marvin Harrison. You're so used to seeing that number 8 out there, and all of a sudden he's not there. It just changes you up.
It's mentally deflating right now. And, you know, on that play, Kilgore comes up and makes the stop for Halls. But as far as Foley is concerned, this is a key. I cannot emphasize this enough. You look at that clock, 2:21 to go. Granted, Halls doesn't move the ball through the air. They're not going to kill you with their passing. But this is a critical juncture in this football game. They get to the half down 14-6. They can still regroup and come back here. But you get a sense right now that this Clinton team has really been deflated by this series of events.
Keep in mind as well, Joe Gunter got his teeth knocked out. You talk about a hard-hitting football game. How'd you like to lose your teeth? We ain't playing hockey.
And you think these guys aren't tough? Let me tell you something. If my teeth got knocked out, the last thing, or a tooth knocked out, last thing I would be doing is sitting down there on the bench. I'd be with my favorite dentist right now, David Rudder, if you're watching.
3rd down and 6, 2:20 to go.
Tough young man.
Hey, Dragons here, a key play, Tony, because, boy, you make a mistake here. You go in 21-6 down, then you got serious problems. They're going to play it safe.
There you go, and they put it on the ground. That is what...
Well, I said play it safe. They tried to hand off.
You could sense, and I was trying to get to that. I didn't want to be a prophet of doom, but Timmy Witt here fumbled the football, and Halls wisely takes another timeout. They sense what I sense, which is this game is turning and turning in a hurry.
Timeout on the field, 2:10 to go in the half. Kevin Catlett looking over at his young players. Number 21, Timmy Witt.
I tell you what I do right now, if I'm that Halls coaching staff, and they're going to do what I'm suggesting they do. You would think conventionally that you'd go for a block here. I would put Lively back, or I would take Minot and put him back, and I would try to set up a return and see if I can't get into Clinton territory following this change.
Catlin runs right out there on the field. This reminder this weekend, NCAA football tomorrow on CSS. We've got a doubleheader. Regional football kicking off at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Chattanooga and Wofford. Then at 7:30, Jacksonville State plays host to Samford. It's all right here on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. Punting situation here for the Clinton Dragons, down 14-6 in damage control mode, just trying to get to the half, still in the football game.
Oh, they're definitely in the football game, but this is a critical play right here early in this one.
Trying to avoid the mistake. Little punt for the Red Devils. Timbo Lively picks it up his own 45, takes it into Clinton territory, 6 yards on the return. That takes us under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Little Timbo Lively. Gary Shepard wants more. I guarantee you that.
Marcus Miles comes up and makes a stop, another sophomore. It seems like this group, sophomores are us. They've got more sophomores than some of those teams back in the day when you talk about the flaming sophomores. But Marcus Miles, 5'8", 165 pounds. This really a critical series. Again, I cannot underscore this enough.
Well, that's what we're saying. Clinton just trying to get to the halftime, down 14-6, which is where they are right now. Red Devils going to hand off to Lively. Got some blocking. Lively into the secondary. Hello.
Oh, talk about a hit. As coming up, Garrett Tedder making the exclamation point stop after the 4-yard gain. Here he lines up out of the wing tee. This is vintage Halls football here. From the wing tee, you give it to him. He's already around the corner, and Tedder says, hello.
This right here, some pretty good tackling. Jonathan Gomez gets in on the tackle as well. All the Dragons, fiery Dragons. There's that inside handoff. There's a little running room, and there's a first down for the Red Devils. Nice blocking up front, Tony.
Well, there is excellent blocking up front, but really a great ball fake as well. And Horton is left to make the stop along with Jonathan Gomez at the end of the play. But you can see right now the offensive rhythm. I was feeling this. I'm not a big karma guy, but I was feeling it on that last series of downs and that last drive for Halls. And you get a sense right now that they're in the rhythm.
Clock is running, 1:14 to go. Devils just want to stop the clock at this point. Waste the down, throw it into the ground, bring up a second down and 10.
They only have one timeout. So you use that down as a timeout, a de facto timeout. You see your quarterback over there talking to his coach. And I've got to say, thus far in the first half of this game, that Kent Flynn has been very impressive. He's been impressive the way he's handled this offense. He's poised the way he's handled things. And on the other side, Catlett needs an answer.
Needs to stop right here, 1:12 to go. Second down and 10, 37. Red Devils with an 8-point lead, looking to make it more. Lively, the man in motion. They play fake to him. Looking deep. It's a shot put downfield and almost intercepted.
Jonathan Dye should have had it. I mean, it goes through his hands. And at this juncture of the game, Jonathan Dye has got to make that catch. He's a freshman. I bet Jonathan Dye could not believe that ball was as underthrown as it was, and he was going for Dalen Ellis, but the ball way underthrown, and Dye had him covered anyway. Hall's fortunate to get that one back.
Like the call, though. Why not take a shot?
Absolutely.
Take a shot downfield. If Dye gets the interception, it's down and in his goal.
Although you're pressed here into another passing down, which is the only problem with taking that shot.
Either that or you play it safe like Clinton's done a couple times tonight, and you run out the clock. But, Tony, they're listening to you. Looking to pass. That's a beautiful call. Timbo Lively's got some blocking. Lively down to the 15. Cuts it back. Lively to the 10. Timbo Lively takes it the distance. 37 yards, and the Devils blow this one open with 49 seconds to go in the first half.
Timbo Lively is a guy that seeing is believing. So many folks talk about this kid and how special he is around this area. Watch the way he sets up his blocks at the end of this play. And again, Flynn with an excellent job of disguising what they're going to do. They have the wall set up, but here, this is special. It's one thing to get into the open field. It's another thing to cut back and read your blocks in that manner. And he is not even touched on his way to the end zone. And as you say, Mark, now Clinton's in a world of hurt.
They are in a world of hurt. Extra point is good by Mr. O'Connor, and all of a sudden it's 21-6. It wasn't 3 minutes ago. We had a 7-6 ball game. You lose your best player, you're deflated, you let them score, and then all of a sudden you're down by 15. Timbo Lively, and this is just a beautiful play call. Flynn gets the ball over to Lively, and when he's in the open field, you said this early, he's awfully good.
Well, he's all yogurt as far as I'm concerned, because you talk about this guy, he's light and he's lively in the open field. Look at him. I mean, the guy just keeps his feet moving downfield, and I would say right there, that's a Strawberry Supreme. Good for 6 points from Timbo Lively. What a great player that kid is. He's had a fine career here. And again, Kevin Catlett, a guy who's in the soup as it is. This has been a difficult half for him, because if you take back the last couple of minutes, he had an even Steven game, 7-6 going into the half. You get that frustration penalty there. You may have held them to a field goal in that situation, but now the levee is open here at Halls.
You know, in all that talk, you made me hungry. You mentioned yogurt, you mentioned strawberry shortcake, you mentioned soup. You just left out the sandwich and we'd have a full meal.
Well, I haven't had dinner tonight, but I am going to stop at my McDonald's on the way home, and I'm ordering meat number 3. So get it ready.
There you
and
go.
And I want a large, I want a supersized order of fries as well.
Oh, we do love to see you smile. O'Connor gets underneath the ball right here, and this will be returnable. All of a sudden, the Dragons say we've got a shot at it. And up the middle they come. You know, even for the Red Devils, they're running down their half speed thinking, why even run down here?
I'm going to credit Gary Shepard again, because as you look at the scoring drive here, 4 plays, 49 yards, 223. Lively, 37 yards on the TD reception, and he did most of it himself. But as it is, I'm going to tell you, as you look at Timbo Lively there, I believe they kicked that ball short on purpose, Mark, trying to create a turnover. And they almost got it as the ball was on the ground there.
Well, Clinton looked around saying, are we supposed to pick it up?
Exactly.
Are we supposed to go get it?
That was a nice offensive call there.
44 seconds to go in the half, 21-6 Halls, and it looks like Clinton just wants to get to the locker room. Almost broke that one free, and some heavy hitting out there on the field. Good hit by the sophomore Minot. Steps up from his safety position, puts a good lick on the running back.
Minot's had a nice night already. You know, he's played a little quarterback for him. He's made a couple stops defensively. Landon Daniels comes up as well, and Jesse Souter showing you why he's regarded as one of the tougher backs in this area, as he was 6 carries on the night, 39 yards, and he has earned every single one of them this evening.
Clock running down. This should take us to the halftime, as the Dragons just want to get to the locker room, and they will throw a pass. That's kind of a scary play right there. A bit of a late hit almost, but boy, scary play in that situation.
Yeah, things are getting chippy here at the end. That was pretty close to being a late hit, but as it is, Anthony Brown on the grab, and again, Minot on the stop, and that's going to do it for your first half.
Gary Shepard's team with a 21-6 lead. Catlett just wants to get to the locker room. Kevin Catlett's team in this one until the very end, and that just about says it all. Dragons 21-6 they go in. Halls with the lead. The McDonald's High School Football Game of the Week on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. The retaliation, but we all saw sharp too there.
Well, and this by no stretch is a reflection on Kevin Catlett or the program he has or the Clinton community, as I said before, but simply a mistake by a player in the heat of the action. But as you can see by the end of that tackle, it looked as if he tried to use his helmet as a weapon as he ran over Lively at first, and then he got on him and threw a couple of shots. So obviously the intention was there, and as we say, just hope that we get a good, clean second half here, as this game's already become a little one-sided.
Well, and one of the things that's a downside for both of these teams is that when you're thrown out of a game, you miss the next game as well. Volunteer fans, Monday night is your night on CSS. Next Monday, tune in at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Georgia-Tennessee volleyball match, followed by the Philip Fulmer Show at 7. Then at 8 o'clock, Kelly Washington leads the Volunteers against Arkansas. We conclude the day with classic Tennessee football on Vintage Orange. It's all right here on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. But Tony You got to throw that in there. The guys that kicked out of this game, they miss over half of this game, but they also miss the next game. And for Clinton, now you got to prepare that you don't have Blake Sharp for another at least 4 quarters.
And if I'm Kevin Callett, I look at that and I look at my football team right now and I look at what we've done on the year. We're 1-1 in the league, but we're 1-4 overall. If we lose here tonight, we're 1-5. If we win, we're still we're 2-1 in the league, but still just 2-4 overall. I would think for him, he has a decision to make here with regard to that young man when he looks at that video. And I think it'll be interesting to see how he handles it, because if I was the head coach, I would be tempted to sit him for more than the mandatory penalty, which is handed down by the TSSAA in the state.
It's going to be an interesting decision on his part. The key number for them is that region record, and by the time he comes back, right now down 21-6, by the time he comes back, they could be 1-3 in region play, depending on what they do next week. Big stick right there by the Clinton Dragons as we start the second half. Number 35 for Clinton with the stick, Marcus Miles. We have indeed had some good hit tonight.
Yeah, another sophomore. Marcus Miles makes a play, and you talk about this Clinton team, and you're going to see them go to work defensively here, and across the front, a couple of sophomores, a couple of freshmen. At times they'll have 3 freshmen in there. They're undersized. They try to get it done with their speed, but it was the hats of Halls in the first half and the misdirection which was able to turn the half and the momentum in the Halls direction.
Red Devils take the ball, first down and 10 at their own 27-yard line with a 15-point lead. Boy, you have to think they're just going to grind the football out, get that clock running here in the second half, and that's what they do here. A little run up the middle. Number 23 for Halls is going to take that with Stephen Davis. Not much running room on the first play.
His 4th carry of the night. I'm not so sure that Halls wouldn't do this if they were trailing by 13 points. This is Halls football. This is what Halls does. This is their personality. This is what they've always been about. As Dusty Gotze made the stop, one of those freshmen we were talking about. And that play right there is just vintage Halls.
They just continue to run the football and probably will here in the second half. And that's, as Tony said, what they do an awful lot. A second down and 10 for the Red Devils. I formation behind Flynn. And they will hand the ball right up the middle. Actually, Flynn looks like he keeps that one. Kind of hard to see. Good play fake.
Well, again, vintage Halls football, we use that term. And what I mean by that is the ball fakes, the little things. Offensively, if you're going to run a veer or a wing tee and it's going to work for you, your quarterback has to be able to hide the football. He has to be able to be a magician of sorts with the ball to set up some things on the perimeter for his wing backs. And that time he was able to fool you, Mark. He wasn't able to fool anyone else, but he was able to fool you.
Third down and 9. It brings up for Halls at their own 28-yard line. Flynn with a man in motion is going to pitch it back to Lively. Lively looking for a block. Lively's got a block. Into the secondary. Lively with one man behind him. And Lively with the speed down the sideline. That is some speed by Timbo Lively. Takes it down to, let's see, the 32-yard line. And a 41...
at the end of that play, Jonathan Gomez, I think, is going to get a penalty here. And we're going to see, I think he's going to grab the face mask at the end. But you look at Lively as he's off to the races and the corridor is there. And there you see he shakes 2 or 3 tacklers on his way. And he's pulled down from behind. And that is the call on the back end on Jonathan Gomez. The first time we call Gomez's name tonight, remember, this is a kid that's a big hitter. And give Halls credit offensively. They have neutralized a guy that's the leading tackler on Clinton's football team.
40 yards on the carry. Let's watch it again. Timbo Lively. Boy, if you can give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. Looking for the face mask here. Watch closely. Lively into the secondary.
Yeah, you're going to see it here as he shakes this last tackler and he's coming down. There's the contact and boom. And he didn't do it on purpose.
No.
He got his hand up in there and it was enough. That can become a dangerous situation, though. He let go, though. Give the man credit.
First down and 10 at the 27-yard line. 21-6 Red Devils with the lead. They hand it off inside to the big guys. Some heavy hitting inside by the young Dragons.
Give Clinton credit. They're down right now on the scoreboard, but they're not done playing. The second time we called Gotze's name in this period, Dusty Gotze, again, the freshman on the stop. He's a kid that's 5'8", but 240 pounds, occupies some space on the inside. Mark, they set things up on the inside with the knowledge that they can get the perimeter, and if they can get their backs onto the perimeter and isolate, it's just pure, beautiful Halls football.
Second down and 9. Kevin Callett trying to hang in this one for the Red Devils. Going to hand off to Davis up the right side. Well, that's just vintage Clinton defense right there.
When they run a straight I that time, they go out of the I formation, and Gomez making another stop, so he's starting to increase his activity level. But as it is, this Halls team already in field goal range, and for Clinton, they almost have to get a stop here and stop the bleeding in a sense.
Sure, at the 25-yard line, you're looking at a 42-yard attempt.
That's duck soup.
With O'Connor, yeah. Yeah, he's just got the leg.
That's like us brushing our teeth in the morning.
Third down and 8 at the 25-yard line. And in motion for the Red Devils. Flint's rolling right. Has got a man in the end zone, and it's overthrown.
I'll tell you, that was a pretty fake. As he wanted his receiver down there, Anthony Brown, on the coverage. He was looking for Jake Minot on the curl, but he wasn't. He was well covered by Brown. And I'll tell you, this Halls team now, they took a shot downfield knowing what we just told you, which is a 42-yard field goal for this young man. The first time we get a chance to really see him in action tonight is like money in your bank.
I hope you didn't just jinx him.
I'm not jinxing anybody. This kid hasn't missed on the year. He's 14 of 14, and here comes 15 of 15.
Add some confidence for a Division I big-time leg. Go ahead and kick it. Go ahead and boot it through. Kind of held up.
Now, I may hold my bet here if this penalty goes against Halls. We may have to revise our weather forecast as it was. A lot of that going on these days.
It'd be a 47-yard kick if it's against Halls. Catlett runs out on the field and wants to know exactly what's going on.
Boy, it's been a long night for Kevin Catlett already as he comes home to Halls.
You'd think in talking to Catlett that the penalty might be against Halls, but we'll wait for the official indication.
Well, surely he doesn't have an option on whether to take the play there because they blew the play dead. So why they would go over there and talk to him is a tad bit befuddling. But let's see what they get when we sort it out. Oh, we're going to call timeout. Okay.
Well, they went over and they checked something on O'Connor.
They're going to give Clinton a timeout. Clinton apparently called timeout before the play, and there's Gary Shepard on the field saying, what in the world is going on here?
This interesting, almost questioning, because they went over to O'Connor, asked to check something. And it was almost like one of those situations in the NFL. You ask for the replay. If it goes against you, you're charged a timeout.
Clinton trying to set the block up there, and they had to get a timeout before the play, and the refs gave it to him. That's why they blew the play dead.
Shepard's unhappy about something. Doesn't take much to ruffle his feathers. Gary's just going to laugh about it. 8:34 to go in the third quarter. 21-6 Halls, the McDonald's High School Football Game of the Week on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast.
Good job.
Pads in his pants.
Well, we have a TV timeout here, and this is really interesting because Shepard just went out onto the field. He's had enough, I can tell you, tonight. And during the whole break, he was chewing out the official. The official finally just said, I've had enough, walked away, threw the flag, and now it's going to put the ball back, make the line of scrimmage the 40-yard line following the 15-yard mark-off, plus the other 5. So now you're staring
57
at
yards.
a 57-yarder.
He was hitting them in pregame. He was in there taking pads out of other teammates just to get O'Connor going out on the field. 57 yards. Now O'Connor's upset because now they're saying you got to punt it.
And you know the thing about kickers is kickers are a meticulous bunch. And
look at
you
Gary
start talking about pads. Oh, he's I'm telling you, this guy's irate.
Let me tell you this about Catlett, though.
Yeah.
Catlett got what he wanted out of it.
Well, that's akin right there. And you look at Catlett, and you give the guy credit because within the spirit of the rules, he may have seen something on film. He said he called the official's attention. That is akin to getting a stick measurement in hockey, though. That's called gamesmanship.
Sure.
And that's called excellent advanced scouting. I give him credit for that.
Oh, listen to him.
Reno. Okay. 6K spell up there.
Now they're having some fun on the sideline.
It's a spelling bee.
Well, Shepard's talking about that they don't have the right pads on them over there. Now we're going to talk about it again. But, you know, Catlett took Halls out of field goal range, and he saved his team 3 points. You have to keep in mind, Tony, at 15 points down, you are within 2 possessions.
Sure you are.
Now they're going over. Oh, they threw a flag.
I'm telling you.
They checked the pads on number 6 for Clinton, Anthony Brown, to see if he had the necessary pads. Now you get the yardage back that you just gave up. You're in field goal range again, and now you can kick the field goal.
Well, you know, you stick around long enough, and you'll see the silly and the inane come to life here. And let me tell you, TSSAA, I don't know what we're doing out here tonight on this field, but it is certainly silly, and it is certainly inane. So congratulations. That has to be literally the most silly waste of 7 minutes of my life I think I've ever seen. And that includes watching episodes of the Brady Bunch for the 5th time.
Oh, I have never seen that. Gary Shepard comes over and says, hey, look at number 6 out there.
What in the world is going on here, Mark?
Yeah, now look at Gary. He's looking for somebody else to point out, see if he can get him a first down.
Oh, gosh.
He's looking for somebody else.
Where's a sideline warning when you need it?
Oh, that's good stuff. That is gamesmanship, as you called it. Okay, we're back to where we started. We were here about 7-8 minutes ago, 6 Brady Bunch episodes ago. 42 yards, O'Connor, and O'Connor has it blocked. Clinton has a chance to pick it up. Now you just fall on it. Dragons pick it up. Dragons trying to, And the Dragons, after all that, Tony, ruffled the feathers of Ian O'Connor in the blocking scheme, and they got what they wanted.
Well, they ruffled the feathers of the entire game. I mean, this game might as well have just started right now because you can feel it. Garrett Tedder picking the ball up and returning it to the 45-yard line. And if you look at this block, this is as clean as you're ever going to see it. This is very similar to what Tennessee did with Rutgers last week. I mean, that's so clean, it scares you as Tedder picks the ball up after Chris Miller gets the block. And look how clean Miller gets in here. He's not even blocked.
No.
I mean, he is so far in that backfield, it could have hit him in the face mask. And you want to talk about new life for Clinton. This is new life in a big way.
Well, and a big play here. First down and 10 at the 45. 8:22 to go as we reset it. Dragons with a handoff up the middle. Dragons looking into the clear. And boy, Tony, if you get this momentum going after that crazy set of circumstances and you get on the board here, you got a football game again. Catlin's almost got to be laughing.
Well, and what could mess up this kid's perfect 14 for 14 season? I think that's almost disgraceful that he was just put through that, to sit on that field for 7 minutes through that. But as it was, Jake Minot on the stop there of Timmy Witt's 8-yard carry, and this Clinton team all of a sudden has some pep in their step.
Never seen anything like what we just saw over the last 10 minutes. Second down and 2 at the 37. Dragons rolling out. Dragons with an open man. There's our man, number 6. He's got all the pads connected to him. And Anthony Brown's got his hip pads in. Gary Shepard wanted them, so Brown put them in. And now he runs it down for a first down.
And look here, his hip pads come into play quite nicely, thank you very little, as he just catches a little button hook, turns it upfield, and the hip pads, the new pads are going to get a test here. And I think they passed the test.
Well, I'd be glad to have him on, getting crunched like that. I landed on his hip. Yep. He had the pads on.
And credit Justin Lowry for coming back there from the middle linebacker and making the play. But again, you can feel the momentum turn.
Yeah.
And Clinton now has some pop.
First down and 10 at the 27. Little inside handoff. Devils saw that one coming, and a host of Red Devils get in on that tackle.
First guy there, Landon Daniels. Nice play on Souter. Souter's such a tough kid. Runs so well between the tackles. But Landon Daniels able to make the stop. 6'3", 235, a senior.
You know, good to see the kids there, patting each other on the hat, patting each other on the rump, saying, after what all's happened in the first half, we're still out here playing a football game. Gary Shepard's still just
he's going to be livid. He'll be livid at the end of this night, I can promise you.
Tony, he's still yelling at the referee.
As Jesse Souter now coming out of the game, hobbling over to the sideline. 7 carries for 39 yards. They haven't gone to him enough. Now we've got another flag down. I think we're going to have substitution penalty, I think is what we're going to see here.
Oh, I'm sure somebody's got their knee pad out.
That's a pretty good line.
I appreciate it.
Well, that's the knee pad gesture there. Let's see if we can get a clarification. Unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be the call again.
I was joking. Please tell me I'm not right.
Well, there's really going to be no way of knowing. I wish these guys were mic'd so we could figure out exactly what happened there. I think what we have is a substitution penalty, though, on that play with Souter going out late.
Well, we're trying to get a clarification here, talking about equipment. It's saying now, if you've been warned about equipment, and if after that you find someone who doesn't have the right equipment, then they're kicked out of the football game. Now, Tony, I'll have to admit, I'm trying to get a clarification.
Right.
Did anybody go out of the game there?
I just want to know, and I want to say for the record tonight that as far as I'm concerned, I've checked you over from head to toe, and you have the proper equipment this evening.
I feel so much better all of a sudden.
This game, though, again, the rhythm of what is happening here, I can't underscore this enough, how strange this is. You see the officials huddling over the football. We're midway through the third quarter. Halls was driving. Looked like they were going to take control of the game, and now Clinton is coming back the other way. Well, now they've been stopped.
And they're talking on the other side.
I'm telling you, is there such a term as losing control of the game? As 77 has just left. Joe McNish, our spotter, has just found Luke Brockwell, number 77, he tells me, has left to go over to the sidelines for Clinton to get some new pads. What in the world is going on here?
My goodness. This is Keystone Cops if I've ever seen it. Now the referees are over at Catlett and the Clinton.
Can you try and find some?
Referee over there, and the referees on the field are writing things down, trying to figure out who's got pads. 77 for Clinton's adjusting his tailbone pad.
I'm not trying to be funny. I've never seen this.
Don't try.
I've never seen this.
I never have either. I never have either.
Anywhere.
After the 20 fumble performance 2 weeks ago, I thought I'd seen all there was to see.
Thank you. But the good thing about this tonight is that folks around our region are being treated to this evening.
There's 56.
56 comes back in now.
Josh McCamey?
Yeah, let's
checking his pads. He's adjusting his own pads.
Let's get a shot at him because I want to see if Justin, I'm looking at him right now and he may not have the pads that he needs for the small of his back.
And on the Hall sideline, number 82 for Halls has been walking up and down the sidelines, checking the pads on all of his teammates. 59, 64, they're all on the sidelines. I hate to be pointing things out, but they're all checking each other's pads.
I've heard of the fashion police.
Look at him.
But this is absurd tonight.
Look at 67. He's down there checking everybody's pads.
Ordinarily, if you check somebody's pads closely enough, you can get beat up. But tonight they give you a game ball. Hey, what are you looking at?
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. All right, guys, listen. We've gotten about 4 more episodes of the Brady Bunch.
I'm telling
you said drove you nuts. It's second down and 26.
Let's show the highlight of the fight again. I want to see the fight again.
Guys, we are trying to get control of this game and this broadcast, and we're losing control of both of them right now.
Well, no, actually, we're not losing control because we're explaining what is one of the strangest quarters of football.
Half a quarter.
7 minutes. I mean, beat me up here, Scotty. This is unreal.
All right, let's reset the game here. I'm with Tony. I've never seen such. Second down and 26 at the 43. Dragons in a passing situation. Lace up the pads. Get some room to run, and the Dragons get most of that back.
He's a special player. Lost in all this is the fact that Mario Foley is a special player with the ball in his hands. And Derek Wright makes the stop and a nice open field tackle, because if he doesn't, Mario Foley finds some pay dirt. Look at how patient he is as he just lets his block set up in front of him.
Yeah.
And Mario Foley just lets it come to him. There's one, there's another. Come get him for me. Get 10, check him. And if his receiver downfield sustains his block, Mario Foley's still running.
17 yards on the play. Third down and 8 at the 24. Clock runs at 5:44. Still 21-6 Halls after all the pads, all the throwouts, all the everything, and the Red Devils not doing anything to see that one coming. I question that.
Yeah, I do, because I think you have a great opportunity to get Foley out on the perimeter once again. Maybe the thought is we're in 2-down territory here. We're at the 25-yard line. Again, though, they didn't even get positive yardage on that play. Didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Michael Myshinski making the play, and Michael, as we say in the trade, Polish power, my friend. Sophomore, 6 feet, 185. I love seeing those Polish names. Makes me feel right at home here in East Tennessee.
Nothing lost, nothing gained on the last play. 4th down and 8. And now you look for Foley on a must-get fourth down. You get Foley outside, you let him make the decision. Get outside, nothing doing. They hurt us from up here. That's exactly right.
That fooled no one. He's getting outside about as much as the 7-year-old kid that got into the cookie jar for the 7th time. He was grounded on that play as Michael Myshinski again comes up and makes the stop. And did we say Polish power? Because here he comes once again, just fights off his block, stays with it, and the Hall's fire ant defense, they swarm. And look at these guys. They love it. He gets up and he's fired up.
Blowing up
and
the play.
Yes.
You're blowing up the play. That, as you go along, how many times do we say, boy, this is a key play. Boy, this is a key play. But a 4th down and 8, down 21-6, that could have been the play of the game for Clinton. They make it. It's a completely different football game. As it is, the Red Devils get the ball. 1st down and 10 at the 32, little Timbo Lively.
Just a word about that Hall's defense and how resilient they've been. Last week, 4 times their offense turned the ball over in their own territory.
Sure.
1 time, Farragut scored. 3 other times they held. That was a key hold for their defense.
Right. Big play there in scoring territory for Clinton, and you wonder how much you miss a Blake Sharp when you get in that kind of situation, a 4th down and 8. Timbo Lively going to come over to the sideline, take a little breather, and let Stephen Davis handle the running duties.
We saw a tough effort a couple weeks back from Derek Milligan of Powell.
Sure did.
Timbo Lively tonight on a sore lower back has really had yeoman-type effort put in here.
Well, and you talk about Powell and Derek Milligan, the game of the night in East Tennessee. Powell at Maryville, the halftime score. Powell up 21-7 on the Red Rebels, and that a shocker. The #1 team in the state.
Yeah.
A lot of these people around here, Halls has already played Powell and said, don't worry, Maryville will get him.
Well, that Maryville team is a defending state champion. They're an excellent football team, a couple times actually. They're a tremendous football team, and that's a great program.
3rd down and 8, 35-yard line, handoff up the middle, a pretty good play fake. Flynn around the left end. Sliding down.
He got it. And this is an old school naked bootleg from back in the day. This could be Roman Gabriel running with this football here, or Norm Van Brocklin, if you will. If you look at your quarterback and the way he handles the football, again, look at this. That's just so well executed to get the defense going the other way. You got your 1st down yardage, get down, no sense in getting hurt. Again, look at him.
Well, keep in mind he's already been knocked down 1 time tonight.
He's a tough kid, and this team has one to grow on here with this young guy, Kent Flynn, a junior, 5'8", 180 pounds, plays much bigger than that.
1st down and 10 at the 44, going to hand off up the middle this time. Number 14 going to get some tough running yards. Toby Kilgore gets the ball up the middle. Kilgore, a senior.
Yep.
Some tough running, trying to run the clock a little bit. At this point, boy, you want to run the clock.
And again, they're trying to set them up on the inside for some stuff on the perimeter, be it with Davis or any of the other talented backs they have, minus Minot, who's out of the game right now. And you see Kilgore coming off, who's a tough kid. One thing you can always say about the Halls football team is they will fight you offensively and defensively.
2nd down and 8 for the Red Devils. Clock goes under 2:20 to go. They get the pitch out on the right side, and we've got some room. Looking for the corner. Nice chop down out on the side. Number 28 for Hall. Pretty good run right there is Kirk Wynn.
First time we've called his name tonight. The junior gets out on the perimeter here again. They set things up on the inside, knowing that they can try to get things outside the tackles, and that's exactly what they've done. That's been the script they followed the entire night tonight, and thus far Clinton has not been able to shut off those flats and force the backs back inside. And it leaves Jonathan Dye to come up and make a stop from the secondary.
Timbo Lively over 100 yards tonight. He's at 110 on 13 carries. Lively catching a little breather. And the Red Devils with the 1st down, going to hand off up the middle. You talked about they've had so much more success on the outside. They get tough running right there.
Talk about Lively. And as you see the ball carrier, Stephen Davis, just chewing up yards on the inside. That's not even counting the couple of receptions he had in the in the first half for huge yardage. I'd imagine he's going to be around 170 yards in total offense. We'll get the official number for you here in a little bit, but that's quite a night for a guy nursing a sore lower back who didn't practice this week.
Is he available on fantasy football?
Boy,
I could use those numbers.
He's what my buddy Clark Kellogg calls a stat sheet stuffer.
But tonight he's doing a lot of that. Red Devils on a handoff up the middle, more tough running, trying to run that clock. Stephen Davis fighting and scratching and clawing, maybe a little short of the 1st down, but it takes the clock down to about a minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
41.
Still with that 15-point lead.
On this last play, Davis has the football. And the tackler, a would-be tackler from Clinton, number 41, Chad Reap, comes up and just tries to rip the ball out of his hands. And that's a sign of a little bit of desperation here for Clinton as they're trying to go for the strip. 3rd
down and 1, short yardage situation at the end of the 3rd quarter. Red Devils figure, well, we score a touchdown on the quarterback sneak, and our quarterback wasn't even touched. Why not run for the touchdown? And they do. You talk about Lively. He's at 147 right
total
now.
yards.
147 total yards right now.
Pretty good night.
A real good night. Almost had the other touchdown when he took it 41 yards down to the 3. And then the piece of work from 37 yards out.
And you look at Lively, you know, you can always tell a guy who's a real, look at him coming back into the game right now. And you can tell a guy who's an old school kind of football player because the guy, when he goes to the sidelines, does not take the helmet off.
No.
Talk about the night he's having, 13 carries, 110 yards. I think any back in America at any level would take that average.
I think the Volunteers would take that right now if you find a running back that would do that for them. 10 yards, or not 10 yards, 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Still 21-6. Red Devils full house backfield. They hand off to Mr. Timbo Lively. That'll affect the average per carry, but it takes us to the end of the quarter. Red Devils 21-6. Boy, that was as wild and crazy a quarter as we have seen. An interesting third quarter at Halls, but we're right where we started. Devils up by 15. You are watching the McDonald's High School Football Game of the Week on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. 3 kids out in the second quarter for a fight. Then we got into a pad checking contest in the third quarter.
And this is not hockey, by the way.
It's not hockey. We had one kid that lost his teeth. Kevin Cattler looks over and says, your kicker doesn't have enough pads on. They move Halls 15 yards back. Gary Shepard looks over and says, okay, you got a kid that doesn't have enough pads on. They give Halls the 15 yards back. Then after all that, they blocked the field goal.
Say what you want to say about this game, but it's been anything but boring. And we've seen things that you'll never see again.
And hope to never see again. 2nd down and 9. Flag comes down on this one as little Timbo Lively takes it down to the 30-yard line. But, boy, that situation, that position on the field where you look at a holding call.
Yeah, and probably is going to be the call. And, you know, it's been so long. It's been about 7 plays since we've seen a flag down. So you were starting to wonder when another one was going to fall. But the hold here is pretty clear. As you can see, they go with the toss sweep out to the right side, the Lively.
There it is.
There you have it. Great work by the folks in the truck. That's great work.
Yeah, another hanky down on the field. Now you wonder at what point you're going to see another kid that starts checking his pads and running to the sideline.
That's these stoppages are what we fear the most, because that's when the pad checking begins.
Gary Shepard looking up. He can't believe that one, doesn't like it. Gatlin's trying to figure out something else to do over there to slow down the momentum of Halls. He's in there somewhere on the sideline.
I give the guy credit, though. And I say you have to give Coach Catlett credit for spotting the pad violation. Little did he know, though, that about 4 of his guys were in violation and about 10 on the other team, and that we'd have a 30-minute break. So, que sera.
2nd down and 14, just underway in the fourth quarter. Devils up by 15. Hall's trying to run the clock here, and they will put the ball up in the air. Shot put on the sideline, knocked away. And that'll stop the clock, 11:32 to go.
Did he ever pay the price as he released that football, as coming from his blind side was Eric Hensley, and that's the kind of shot as a defensive end that you dream about, as Hensley came around the blind side and put his 6'5", 250-pound frame right into the small of the back of the quarterback from Halls, and Kent Flynn just continues to get up.
You know what? I would love to be a fly on the wall for some conversations. I'd love to be a fly on the ground or something out here when Shepard and Catlett get together after the game and talk about the gamesmanship back and forth of what happened in the last quarter. It's a 3rd down and 24. For the Red Devils, they're going to put it up in the air. An open man is number 40 for the Red Devils, and number 40 has got it. Jesse Sheehan catches the ball, and my friends, they needed 24. They got 24.
Are you going to tell me that we're not seeing Flynn develop tonight into it? Watch him hold the ball here knowing that he's going to take a shot. Guys love playing for a quarterback like this. He holds the ball knowing that he's going to get hit, and then he sees Sheehan there and waits for Sheehan to break free. And Sheehan on the grab as he looks the ball in. Great two-handed catch, and Hall's moving the sticks. That's a big play in this game.
Very big play because the Red Devils can put this one away with a score on this possession. Even a field goal puts you at 18-point lead, and that a 3-possession game at this point is just too much to overcome. 1st down and 10 for the Red Devils, handed inside to Timbo Lively, and everybody getting a little physical in there. Third quarter stats for you tonight. And the first quarter was pretty close. Halftime was a little bit worse.
Look at his rushing yards.
Rushing yards is Halls is incredible. 236 yards. You're right, over 2-1.
And that time of possession also starting to become a factor for Halls, as they're really grinding the clock on the ground, which is exactly what you want to do when you're at home and you have a score or a couple score lead.
Red Devils 2nd down and 9. Little pitch out here to Timbo Lively, looking for some blocks, looking for some speed. Lively can't get outside. Nice open field tackle by the Dragons. Number 11 on the beautiful tackle is Chris Miller.
Chris Miller's a football player, and he comes up here from his cornerback position and drags Timbo Lively to the ground. And believe me, we've already seen tonight, this is no easy tackle in the open field. But not only is he dragging, but he does it with authority from behind.
Good tackle.
Chris Miller, that's well done. And gets up with a little pose there. You got to love that.
Good open field tackle. Got both hands around the young man, and Halls is going to take a timeout here to talk about it on a 3rd down and 12 at the 24-yard line. Red Devils going to stop this one and see if they can't get some more points on the board for Gary Shepard. Red Devils still up 21-6. McDonald's High School football game of the week. We'll be back after this break. Before the break, we were looking on the sideline. We were talking about Kevin Catlett. We were looking for him and said he's in there somewhere. We were wrong. Kevin Catlett not in there somewhere. He has been ejected from this football game, and the assistant coaches now take over. And with the Dragons down 21-6, Kevin Catlett is apparently left the premises.
Well, and he has left the premises, and one of their coordinators now going to take over on the far side. And we don't want to misidentify anyone. Perhaps we'll try to get word to you as to who that is. But Kevin Catlett, again, it's been a long evening for him and for this Clinton group. And that is not what you'd want to see with a guy coming back, a homecoming game of sorts for him. Again, he was a former great player here across the sidelines. Many great memories. This will not be a night of good ones for him.
Well, we're looking for Kevin Catlett to see if he's in the press box somewhere. Can't seem to find him. There's an inside handoff. Stephen Davis. Dragons play that one well on a 3rd down and 12. And the Red Devils content to just keep the clock running, set up O'Connor, and essentially win it.
This game has been so bizarre that it wouldn't surprise me if he shows up a middle linebacker. Kevin Catlett.
Kevin Catlett?
We've seen everything tonight. Why not?
It's like the movie Gus. He comes running out to play middle linebacker. All right, let's set this thing up. Here comes O'Connor. And let's see, he's at the 20-yard line. 37-yard attempt after the last one was blocked. I guarantee you the block will be better here because Shepard made sure that was fixed. Snap is good, hold is down, kick is up, and I was wrong.
Is that
absolutely wrong.
That is so well schemed what they did on that block as Chris Miller gets in there, not once tonight, but twice.
I guarantee
twice.
I did a Broadway Joe Namath, I guaranteed you, and then if they watch it again.
There's no way, though. There's no kicker in the world that converts unless you know how to kick through somebody.
Unbelievable. 9 minutes to go. Red Devils still up by 15. McDonald's High School football game of the week continues after this.
Tennessee Sporting Goods is one of Knoxville's oldest and most respected sporting goods stores. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff has provided our community sports programs with equipment and gear for over 50 years. We stock Rawlings baseball protective gear, Rawlings baseball gloves, and Rawlings baseballs, as well as many other brands of quality football, baseball, softball, and basketball supplies.
Tennessee Sporting Goods is proud to participate in Knoxville Youth Athletics, and we appreciate your visit.
The Devils with the lead. We're wondering if Kevin Catlett went to see the end of the Powell Maryville game, which seems to be a pretty good game tonight. Can't find him, not on the premises. But our understanding is, Tony, is the interim coach is?
Frank Fraganini.
Fraganini on the sideline.
Yes.
Gary Shepard on the Hall sideline. And there's our acting coach.
And he's got that head coach, has that head coach, looks like Bo Schembechler a little bit with the dark glasses there.
He does, but I guarantee he'd rather inherit a lead rather than a 21-6 deficit. But you know what? You're still in this football game.
Sure you are.
You are down 2 possessions. If you make a play and you got one man right here, get to the outside.
No.
And they fumble the football. Okay, well, there goes that.
Jonathan Dye fumbles the football there, and that's just youth. He's trying to make a play there. He's a freshman. He's already made positive yardage. And Derek Wright just comes up and just rips the ball out of his hands. And as it is, Jonathan Dye with a a mistake, and it's tough as Justin Lowry on the recovery for Halls.
Well, I'll tell you speak too quickly. You said it at the very beginning about the miscues for Clinton, and here it is.
They have so many athletes, Mark. You know, they get the ball out in the flat here to this young guy. Look at the stiff arm.
Yeah.
But he's got to protect the football there. He just has to do that. And you have to give Wright credit for coming up and punching the ball out of there. That's just well coached.
Especially with the way you see how he's holding that thing like a loaf of bread. Hold on to the football. Wrap it up. Stick it underneath, and now we got more flags. You said there hadn't been enough. There's about 4 of them.
We're going to have some movement on Halls on this play as it looked like the guard over there jumped a little too early. And, you know, at this point in the game, I'm sure for Halls, get some subs in there, play some different guys, give some guys a taste of being in this game. I just went upstairs a second ago and was above our press box talking to one of the Clinton coaches, and we're talking about the situation, and he just looked at me and he said, "Do you believe this night?"
No, we don't. We've never seen a night like this.
Yeah.
8:53 to go. Ouch. Timbo Lively cut down by number 15, Jonathan Gomez.
I mean, we talked about him at the top.
Yep.
Sometimes we talk about things at the top and they don't come to fruition. Sometimes we talk about things. This guy right here, Gomez, is a guy that can really hit. Everybody talks about him around this area. I mean, he can get you with authority. 6 feet, 190 pounds. This guy here, if the right school sees him, could make a nice linebacker for somebody at the next level.
Sure, good-looking athlete. Real good-looking athlete.
Closing speed.
As it is, a second down and 12 for the Red Devils. More importantly than anything, the clock runs. They get it to Timbo Lively. Nice stop, nice start, but good tackling there by the Dragons. Number 56, Josh McCamey, a part of that.
That's one of the prettiest 2-yard runs you'll see, though, because he does not stop. But let's watch Jonathan Gomez on the ISO here, as he's just going to come up, and he's going to miss on the tackle, just as we were bragging him up.
Sure.
Still, he's had a good night tonight.
Well, give that one to Lively.
Sure.
Lively stopped on a dime. It's hard to catch a little guy like that. Lively is a small guy, but he plays big. Third down and 15 for the Red Devils. Clock continues to run. Red Devils just want to get out of here. I think at this point the Dragons may want to do the same thing.
Hall's coming into tonight 0-2 in the region. It was incumbent upon them to come out here and play well, and they've done just that.
The inside handoff to Stephen Davis. Nowhere to go. That will bring up a punting situation, and looks like O'Connor will come out on the field. Ian O'Connor, all of a sudden, he just hope he can get one off.
Well, and you hope that he's got the proper padding on at this time, but you know, and here's a situation where you take advantage of playing to your strengths. Don't put the football in the air there. Sure, Halls would have loved to have gotten a first down and moved the sticks following the turnover, but as it is, it's a 15-point game.
Yeah.
Kick the ball away. Watch this kid hammer the ball here and see if he can create a deficit for
oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. And O'Connor gets it away. No flag on the play as he falls down. O'Connor with a short kick that goes out at the 42-yard line. And, boy, Ian O'Connor's just got to feel snake bit. He's had 2 field goals blocked, and then to squibber back to him on the snap, and he's just shaking his head saying, what in the world?
And does he show some athletic ability getting this off?
Sure he does.
You watch him here as he is under assault as it bounces back to him. 6'2" and 185 pounds. Ian O'Connor, you have a bright future.
Well, in the drop there, you talk about the drop for a punter. What kind of drop is that? He's just trying to get it away. So don't blame him for the short punt. He's not real thrilled about it, but boy, you're right, Tony. Good athletic play just to get it out of there.
But, you know, Clinton's made a couple plays on their special teams, and they're in this game still with the ball at their own 43.
They are in the football game. 21-6, down by 2 possessions. We've got a reverse coming. Clinton trying to run a reverse, and what do? They drop the football.
Back in the day, they would call this play getting blowed up. I know that's bad English, but that's exactly what happened here. If you look at this reverse that never happens, Timmy Witt is going to get the football, and he's going to try to go back, but he's never able to corral the ball. He didn't get the handoff cleanly, and Halls was able to negate any type of effort, and they're very fortunate they get it back here.
Unbelievable. Loss of 7 yards on the play brings up a second down and 17 as the clock approaches 6 minutes to go and counting. Dragons just need a big play to get them back in it. Jailbreak again, and that's what they want. A little screen pass across the middle. Got some open running room for the Dragons. Good open field running. And the big guy, number 48 for Clinton, is Jesse Souter, and he's going
special.
to take that one for a first down.
He's a special player. You know, I don't know why they don't try to get, as he gets a 21-yard run there, I don't know why you don't try to work Jesse Souter some more and do some different things for him. Watch him here as he gets the ball in the open field, and this right here is an Olympic sport.
Sure.
Thank you very little.
Sure.
You talk about a great athlete in the open field, and again, Clinton inside 5.5, they're in this football game.
But the clock continues to run, 5.5 to go, but the Dragons need to score quickly, and they snap it over his head. Here comes some athletic ability. Throw it. He throws it. And the Dragons, oh my goodness gracious, look at this play. You are absolutely, that just about typifies the night.
It does.
You just sat back in your seat, rolled your eyes, threw your hands up, and said, what?
Souter again on the reception, but you want to look at some great individual effort. Mario Foley here says, somebody help me. Okay. What's going through his mind right now? It is help. Help.
Bo,
I need somebody. Help anybody. I need Jesse Souter. And Souter gets him about 7 yards. Turns it upfield.
Unbelievable. That says it. That Mo, Larry, and Curley on that play. 2nd down and 6. Under 5 to go. The Dragons have that one knocked down, and let's stop and let's take a breath for a minute.
That's how you coach them up. You coach them up to get their hands up, and Dellen Ellis has had a nice night tonight, and there he's able to knock down the pass before it even starts. And watch Ellis here just get his hands up. This is textbook day. Boom. That's perfect.
That's good eyes, too. Good eyes. His hands were straight up, and he lowered it down when he saw that the quarterback was looking a little lower than where he had his hands. So a 3rd down and 6, obviously 4-down territory at this point. So if you're Clinton, I still think you've got to get your quarterback outside, and you've got to give him a chance to run. Foley's such a great athlete. Foley going to run to the left. Foley going to looking deep. He's got a man. Nice defensive play in the secondary for the Red Devils.
Jake Minot has had a nice night tonight.
Sure he has.
Jake Minot's made a couple of nice tackles. Jake Minot here just stays at home in the coverage and doesn't try to be a hero. Just knock the ball down. This is very well played.
You know, the thing from our standpoint, Tony, is when you get to the point where you don't have to look at the kid's name, you know that you've called his name a number of times. Foley has nothing else to do besides just throw it downfield. Double coverage as receiver stops on him a little bit, but Minot with the play.
And for posterity's sake, Foley thought that we'd have a little fumble there as he took the ball from center. And so a big 4th down, Clinton team, and they're going to talk about it.
Dragons going to call a timeout of the 4th down and 6 at the 39. If there was a must play, this is it for the Dragons. Still 21-6. McDonald's High School football game of the week continues after this break on CSS.
Experience the internet you've always imagined. It's the new Comcast high-speed internet. Constantly connected. Faster than dial-up. Faster than DSL. My File Locker for online storage. Up to 7 email accounts. No need for a second phone line. No need for any other internet service provider. Call now and get up to 3 months of Comcast high-speed internet for as little as $19.95 a month, plus a free self-install kit. Get connected.
Welcome back to Halls. Red Devils still up 21-6. Busy weekend in sports. Lots on CSS. And we also like to talk about this for you. If you'd like to receive it, we'll do it after the play here. Clinton has the ball. 4th down and 6. We'll wait and we'll hold off on that. 4th down and 6. Dragons with the ball. Dragons looking down the sideline. And there's the freshman.
Great job by Dye. Shielding his body there. And I'll tell you, this quarterback is impressive. You watch this kid play. You watch Mario Foley play. Mark, look at the big-time arm he has throwing that ball against his body onto the short side of the field. How many quarterbacks on the high school level can do this? Watch this here.
This is
just
a pretty
just
throw.
A basic drop and just boom, lets it go.
25 yards on the passing catch. Down to the 14-yard line. You're right, Tony. Beautiful pass. Down to the 14. 4:26 to go. Foley rolling right. And that is some speed by a defensive end for Halls. And it's a fumble on the play. Did it get out of bounds? Is an incomplete pass is what they're calling it. That is a blessing for Clinton. That is one fast defensive end out there. Number 75,
Michael Mackenzie.
There you go.
There we go.
I'll leave that one
right
for our Italian to get that one right. Running a Mackenzie on the right.
But Mackenzie came with authority
Well,
at the outset of that play.
That's a gift, calling that one right there an incomplete pass, because his arm wasn't going forward except for underhanded, trying to just get rid of it. All of a sudden, we have a flag down on the play. What are we doing?
No, actually, it's 2nd down and 10. You're right.
A little bit of confusion out here on the field as the referee trying to keep control of it. Clock is stopped at 4:15 to go. 2nd down and 10 at the 14. Dragons needing to score quickly. Foley is going to look across the middle and almost intercepted by Halls by Derek Wright. He was just sitting there waiting on the ball to get there.
Classic hard slant. He wanted Anthony Brown, who had one-on-one there. And credit Wright for coming up and breaking up the play. Great anticipation. The ball perhaps thrown a tad too early. You look at the numbers on Mario Foley, 8 of 13 on the night, 119 yards. But even at that, the clock stops at 4:10. It's 3rd down and 10 here. This is a key down. If they can score here somehow, it's hard to believe that.
It is hard to believe. 3rd down and 10 at the 14. Foley, jailbreak. Foley still running. The referee blows it down. No incomplete pass here.
And he's down.
Foley.
We've got a man down back behind the play, as on the field, it looks like it's going to be, I want to say that's what number is that? Somebody help me here. Is that number
Well, we're
11,
looking.
2,
Got a hard
7?
angle. It's not 2.
Yeah,
He's out of the game.
Angle. Yeah, it can't be 2.
I think we got a cramp. Late in the game,
that's what it is.
Warm evening. That's a cramp position right there. That hamstring has a tendency to cramp up late in the football game.
That's actually going to be number 14 who's down, as it's like Toby Kilgore who's down on the play, and they're rubbing out that calf. But,
rubbing out the calf, trying to get things going. Speaking of getting things going, if you'd like to receive a free mouse pad branded with your favorite SEC school, email us at css@cable.comcast.com. Give us your name if you could, your address, your desired school. We'll send you a free mouse pad. Schools offered are Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and Auburn. Not a bad deal. Get a free mouse pad. I need one of those.
I'd say it's a bargain at any price, but now it's a 4th down and 17 back at the 22-yard line, and they're almost forced here to try to pop one into the end zone. And I'd be surprised if they don't roll Foley out here, and I would be doubly surprised if Halls does not bring the kitchen sink, as that is their style with this Fire Ant defense.
And I'd also be surprised if Hal's not out there looking for Dye.
No doubt about it.
He made the mistake early, but Jonathan Dye, one of your best athletes, made the last play and showed us a lot, Tony, on that last 25-yard catch.
And you look at this kid, you look at this quarterback, and you just say to yourself, that this guy has some physical skills. This offense has some physical skills. They're a lot better than 6 points tonight, I can tell you that.
Well, but Tony, they've been better than 79, make it 85 on the year.
That's unbelievable.
And they move the ball up and down the field. Here comes Foley looking into the end zone, throwing to Dye, and this one's going to be intercepted. And guess who it is? It's Minot. He says, what the heck? I'm going to come on out with it. Minot down the sideline. Pretty good shot on the sideline, and Minot knocked out, but that just about says it all.
And again, Minot could have knocked the ball down, but hey, Jake Minot's paid his dues tonight. The sophomore gets himself an interception. Schmidt coming back behind the play to run him down. That's going to just about do it, though. And then you see Foley going off. What a gallant effort by him. But here, he throws the ball up a little too high, does not get it to the outside, and Minot almost calls for a fair catch there as Dye falls down.
Well, Dye's falling down trying to stop, trying to come back to it. If he throws it out ahead of him, Dye's got a great shot because it looked like he had Minot beat. But a timeout has been called on the field by Halls. Minot's on the sideline telling his teammates, I got an interception and I do have all my pads in my pants. 3:36 to go. 21-6 Halls with the lead. Keep it here on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast.
Schaefer, I've been considering you to head up sales.
Hanson, I've been thinking of you for that new board position.
Word is traveling fast. McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese.
Trying to get Halls to the end of this football game of 21-6. Red Devils with the lead. He's a pretty good football player right there. Timbo Lively has indeed done most of the damage tonight.
I'd say that's player of the game material right there on our post game tonight. I'd say he's a strong favorite right now. Let's put it that way.
It'd be hard to vote against him. A kid that's done as much as he's done tonight. First down and 10 at the 29. Halls takes over. They are going to get it back to Timbo Lively. Everybody knows he's getting the football, and Lively just about gets his head taken off.
Wow, did Anthony Brown, who's slow in getting up, come up and make a shot here on Lively? I mean to tell you, get out of my way. Let's enjoy this, the sights and sounds of high school football here on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast.
Yeah, enjoy it unless you're Timbo Lively.
Yeah.
We can all enjoy it because we're up here in the friendly confines of the press box at Halls High School, but
what a tough guy.
Pretty good lick right there. Clock continues to run, under 3 minutes to go. Hall's just trying to run the clock out, get out of here with their 4th victory of the season. Flynn going to keep the ball, good running up the middle.
Flynn's so impressive the way he handles that football out of that wing tee, and that time Tedder makes the stop on him. But Flynn is a guy that the more you watch him, the more impressed you get. With him at the helm next year offensively, and for the rest of this year for that matter, this Halls team looks like they're finding themselves here a little bit.
Well, you keep in mind, Red Devils 0-2 in region play entering this one. They get win number 1, but 4-2 overall. This is a darn good football team.
And the two teams that played them tonight are squaring off with Maryville and Powell.
Yeah.
And Maryville is making a statement after they were down at the half.
Down 21-7. It's 42-21 Maryville.
Thank you.
Late in that one. But,
I mean, as you look at Flynn on the night, 7 carries for 60 yards and a score. He's thrown the ball nicely as well. He's an impressive young guy.
All right, we have got more football action for you this weekend. Tune in to CSS on Sunday for a huge game in the Southeastern Conference as Alabama plays host to number 8 Georgia. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern Time right here on CSS. That's Sunday afternoon, your source for sports in the Southeast.
Georgia has been, they've been 4-0, or 4-0 4 times since their magical season of '82, and they've never gotten to 5-0.
Really?
And tomorrow's their opportunity.
Well, there's some good football games tomorrow. Arkansas, Tennessee should be a good one. You know, Ole Miss and Florida could be a heck of a football game down in Oxford. Don't rule out Eli Manning in that one. He's been playing awfully well. Flynn is going to keep this one on the field of play. Oh, the coach is going to say don't run out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a mistake. No question. You keep Clinton alive. The clock is your ally right now if you're Halls, as Marcus Miles probably surprised anybody that he runs out of bounds, and now you're going to have a change of possession, so you get another opportunity for Clinton to get the ball back here.
Well, 4th down and 5. We've sounded like a broken record tonight, but the game's still not over.
It sure isn't.
I mean, you get a punt return here. You've got a great athlete who's back. It looks like Dye is the man who's back for Clinton, and Dye has had a heck of a night. O'Connor gets this one away, a little gun shy after how much pressure he's been under, and gets a Clinton bounce. This one bouncing towards the 40-yard line. 2:14 to go in the game. It's 21-6. Halls with the lead. Ian O'Connor hoping he's done for the night.
Boy, I'll tell you. That guy came into tonight 14 of 14. He leaves 14 of 16. He's had a couple of blocks. He's had his pads altered a time or two. It has been a night to forget for poor Ian O'Connor. What a long night for that guy.
Kind of a funny story. Last week, one of the officials for the game is a man named Daryl Kaiser. He went over to O'Connor and said, Ian, do you remember who your 3rd grade teacher was? Oh, yeah, I remember. It's Kaiser. I said, yeah, that's my wife. One of the referees last week, Ian said, oh, she was one of the greatest teachers I ever had. 3rd grade teacher, still remembering that he is the prize recruit. And now here he is, one of the prize recruits in the country. 3rd grade.
I bet he could kick some kids in the 3rd grade.
I bet he could. Nice pass out. Mistake on Clinton's part. The clock keeps running. Catch that ball and run out of bounds. Stop the clock.
Every second right now is a premium, as they're going to be right at the midfield strike. And we say this, we've said this time and time again, if they can get the ball into the end zone here and give themselves about a minute and get an onside kick, they still have an opportunity in this one.
Who the heck knows what happens? 1:45 and counting, still 21-6. Clinton rolling out to the left and looking downfield. Needs to heave it downfield. Foley's going to tuck it under and run. Look to the sideline, my young man, and he does. Whoa.
And that's going to be an extra 15 yards tacked on.
Did they throw the flag there?
Yeah, they sure did. And at the end of that, Jake Minot.
He's trying to hold up.
Yeah, he was. But he hit him, and it went over, and it was too close to the fence, and they had to call that. It was way off the field of play. And, one of the Halls coaches you can see is down there talking to him right now. And your official's going to make the call, and it's the easiest call they've had to make all night, as that's a personal foul. And anyhow you slice it, that's a personal foul.
Well, let's watch it again. Foley gets the ball and runs down the sideline, and he's out of bounds. And Minot is trying to hold up. He hits the fence out. They're going to call this every day, twice on Sunday. If you look, he's way out of bounds. There's no need to hit him there. No need to hit him. Yeah, he hit him too far out there, but in his defense, he was trying to hold up. Sure. Hard to stop, but he did hit him too far out, no question. As it is, it's a first down and 10 down at the 15-yard line. Clinton needing to get this one in the end zone quickly. A little swing pass.
I wonder about that.
Cut down.
You're in the middle of the field.
Yep.
You need to turn the ball up. Now you have to burn another one of your timeouts. And again, that's just not. I understand Dye's a great player on the perimeter, but throw the ball closer to the sideline.
Yep. Chase Lebetti there on the tackle. And the clock does stop at 1:21. Why not give yourself a chance? Throw the ball in the end zone. See if you can't get the ball in the end zone. Still more football coming up this weekend. Tomorrow on CSS, we've got a doubleheader for you here on CSS. Regional football kicking off at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Chattanooga and Wofford. Then at 7:30, Jacksonville State plays host to Samford. It's all right here on CSS. It's your source for sports in the Southeast. A lot of good football this weekend here on CSS, and then you go into Sunday with Alabama, Georgia, and Monday, Tennessee, Arkansas. You can see all the football games you want to see here.
That Jacksonville State-Sanford game ought to be interesting. Jack Crow, a guy, former coach in the SEC, taking a revamped offense into that one.
It's more the insight that you get only here with Tony Basilio.
I'm a football junkie. What can I say?
There you go. You have to be. 1:21 to go. It is second down and 15 at the 20-yard line. Dragons here essentially, why don't you just take 3 shots at the end zone? If you get one of them, great. You get one, you kick the onside kick. But no reason to leave the ball in the field of play. Foley's going to roll left. Foley has got some room. He's going to throw it back across the field. And had plenty of room to run. I hate to sit up here and second-guess the kids. But you got 3 shots at the end zone. Take them.
Well, he may have had plenty of room to run. He had a man there as well, and he wanted Brown on that slant. That's a little waggle. Brown comes from the strong side of the field, and the quarterback, Foley, was able just to get out and find the little space there. But as it is, third down and 15, and they're running out of time, and they're running out of downs.
Bad news for Halls. Justin Lowry, number 32, has missed a lot of time because of a sprained ankle. He just hobbled off just now, which could be bad news for Halls as he's over on the sideline laying down having a problem with that ankle. Bad news for Halls. They are carrying him off the sideline. As it is, a little screen pass across the middle of the field, and the Dragons keep the ball between the hash marks.
You were talking about Lowry before at the top, and he's really a spiritual leader for Hall's defense, and they've got a stretch of games out in front of them that's anything but easy. And that's why tonight, for this Hall's team, was such a must-win. And there you see they're working on Lowry over there and working on his ankle.
That's tough.
You hate to see that for the young man.
He's got a broken hand, had a broken hand, got in the game last week, played a courageous game tonight, and obviously upset. The sprained ankle apparently re-aggravated for him, and the Red Devils need him this year.
Even with the limited playing time he's had, coming into tonight, he was still their third leading tackler, to tell you the kind of ball player he is.
Fourth down and 15 for the Dragons. This is definitely it. Lowry around left end has got to get the first down and not going to do it. So Halls will take the football over with a minute to go, and now they can just sit on it as the Dragons out of timeouts tonight, and all Halls has to do is just run this one out.
Look at that young man, though. What an effort. And Coach Air in a pinch-hitting role. This Clinton team has nothing to be ashamed of. They fought tonight, literally and figuratively, here this evening. But Mario Foley and that squad have nothing to be ashamed of. And then on the other side of things, for Halls, Gary Shepard and this gang getting a much-needed win in this region.
No question about it.
Absolutely, after starting 0-2, had to have the win here.
Started out with 2 pretty tough region games.
Oh, hey, but still. the margin of error is very slight for them the rest of the way.
The Devils will snap the ball and just sit down on it. And the clock will run. Tony, what comes up next for these two teams as far as we look at the rest of the schedule?
I'm glad you asked me that, as I was digging for my schedule before. And
I'm sorry, I thought you found it. That's why I asked you.
That's really nice of you. We're going to have to talk here when we're done this evening. But for Clinton, they will go on, and they have a showdown with Central. And for the Halls football team, Halls next week, somebody here help us. This Halls ball club finds themselves where?
Yeah, they hit the...
You can check us out at morethanmemoriestn.com or call us at 865-414-3954.